unless we feel the need to chat longer, would you guys like to talk about what happened last week and dive in?
I personally do
Yes,
not.
but I want to chat about what happened last.
Okay.
You know, let's keep it casual tonight.
I'm okay with you guys doing it that way.
God damn it!
I wanted to fight you on it.
You goofed yourself on that one.
You goofed
This
yourself.
shit ain't working. Can people hear me now?
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Cool. Hopefully it will stop cutting out.
So we started last session, just having left Emeritus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright.
The beautiful, beautiful
Out in the big wide galaxy.
I was super tired from packing. I know that people had some pretty meaningful conversations.
It basically
Last
started
week got
off. Yeah, it basically started off with I can't think of her name. I can't think of her name. Flair being like, "So where do you want to go?"
Right.
And then I was like, yeah, no, she's getting off the ship because Caius is going to find us, and she is dead. Or
She
she
gonna
is
die!
good as got." So then we decided that we all discussed how and where she'll go.
And we settled on the league, the
league.
Loreseekers League. Yeah. Which meant that we had to go to a refueling station, and then a refueling station / hyperlane gate.
It was a ring. So like the hyperlane gates are like grouped together in each of the sectors, and then they'll usually have some kind of like pit stop location, because there's people who just truck drive through these hyperlanes is their job, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like a refueling station / pit stop at all of them, and you guys went to the one there.
Yeah.
You guys met a new character while you were on the ship on your way here.
Sal.
Oh yeah, Sal.
That old Mechanico.
Yep. He was in the. He was in a hatch. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but he was in a hatch. He was locked.
Smuggler's hatch?
A smuggler's hatch. There you go.
Hiding in the smuggler's hatch.
You forget my subclass, bro?
And he was locked. He was locked in there.
The entire time the ship was impounded.
Yeah. All 4 days?
Hey, he's a good guy.
Was it 4? Was it 3 or 4 days? I think it was 4.
Several days.
Yeah.
It was several days.
But he's a
he was
robot.
Pretty
He's a
ornery about
robot.
that. So we went to the place. I wrote it down. The name of the place was Stacy's, the diner next to the hyperlane, or just off the hyperlane. Ronan stayed on the ship, and everybody went to go get sandwiches and milkshakes.
Milkshake ordeal, I forgot about that.
Which went pretty swimmingly. I think Isel just ordered sandwiches.
Yeah.
And
I was
Stacey
like,
was just
what do you
okay.
suggest or something? And Flair was like, sandwiches! And I was like, sandwiches.
I will have sandwiches. Flair was super nice and brought me back a sandwich. And a shake, but Ronan doesn't like chocolate, so she gave it to, or rather, Lior snatched it out of her hand, and then regretted it a couple minutes later when she was violently vomiting milkshake into the toilet, which was hilarious.
That was like 20 minutes later.
Yeah, I mean, a couple. It's 2 digits. That's a couple. I know that people had conversations about things, and I'm just blanking on it. I know that Voss had some conversations with some people about things, and I just can't remember. So if anybody would like to take over for that,
Yeah. A couple things I did was I was in the cockpit with Ronan and Zed, and just kind of like asking about the engine and stuff like that, and being generally annoying. And then I did the exact same thing to Sal.
Yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, and he was not unhappy with me, just annoyed, I would imagine.
He closed
Felt
the
like-
door on you instead of
He
slamming
did close the door on me.
you.
Exactly. See? Progress. And then Sanguisan and Voss had a long heart-to-heart, but nobody else heard that. Unless you cheated, watched the video.
Oh, I didn't.
I definitely didn't.
So
That's
they
all I
had
did.
their super secret conversation.
Um,
Definitely not about Aisha or.
Definitely not. Definitely not about backstory either. More front story.
Definitely.
Isel had a heart-to-heart with his spirit friend,
Yes.
and then had a real talk with Flair in front of fuck, what's her name?
Leor.
Leor.
Leor was like rolling on her back in a bed, trying not to vomit again. so
I
that
mean,
was-
yeah, but she was there
Yeah.
while we talked about if this was in fact the right course of action, and decided it was. If Flair trusts them, then Isel trusts.
All right.
But just the people that Flair specifically trusts, not like all of them as a whole.
Okay.
Shortly after everything at the Hyperlane, we left to go to the Loreseeker League's station, where we docked and met. Oh, we went to the docking bay 16B, and we met Rax, which was Flair's friend, who was a mechanic. And he asked her what she wanted on the ship, and Zed and Ronan exchanged a glance. And Flair asked for a whole bunch of guns, and Rax was just like, "Yeah, you don't always need to just add guns to things for ships. It just doesn't make much sense all the time."
Which I cut in. What's the price on that?
Yeah. After settling that business, we followed Flair through less open like hallways and stuff, I think, and we ended up in a library where we met the I didn't
Sarah
Right.
song.
Sarah. Yeah. Yes, Doyen, Sarah Song. And that's where we ended, I believe.
She was, I believe, she was taking your party and Leor to her private office in the library.
Yes. Yes.
Let's not forget that Rax called me adorable. Important stuff.
Yes, let's
I
not
don't think
forget
he's
that.
the first NPC that's called you adorable, actually.
No, I
That's very
Definitely
true.
want people to remember.
I mean, we all remember how adorable.
Should
Isaac
any of you
was.
ever consider crossing
is.
me, I'm too cute.
Most
Everyone,
importantly, Sanguisan.
everyone in the universe will hate you.
Most importantly, Sanguisan met a Caltol that wasn't trying to kill him, just instead.
That was refreshing.
Yes. Oh, who
we
died?
lose.
Who died?
We lost James. Alright, he's the most expendable. Let's just keep going. No.
Oh, God.
But
And with
yeah,
that,
you
we
guys
roll
were
initiative,
following-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Doyen Sarah Song starts fighting us.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. She does lead you guys through the lower level of the library to the right. You pass several cavernous rooms that are actually fairly full of people at study, either on the computer screens that are across the tables, or even studying out of like old tombs and texts that have been preserved here.
What?
Oh yeah, no. Like when all of you look at this library, this is like probably the most amount of physical books you've ever seen in your life in one place.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely
Zed already leaned
take it
in.
back.
Zed already leaned in and said how much you think some of these are worth. So,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And she does lead you up a short like elevator lift to the second level and out and around a corner to a kind of corner office that's walls are just glass on one side overlooking the one of these large library rooms below. She smiles and she motions to the many different couches and chairs in the room that surround her large desk, and she says, all of you, take a seat where you wish. And then she looks down at Lior and she smiles and says, you, come here. And as Lior kind of curiously steps forward, she pulls...
I'll just kind of interject. Her name is Lior.
Lior, then. And she just kind of smiles at her. And she pulls a book off of her desk, and she places it in Lior's hands, and she says, do you read? And Lior kind of looks at the book and cocks her head to the side. Not really. And Doyen Song looks past her and smiles at Flair, and she says, why am I not surprised? Try this. And she kind of like motions Lior into a chair in the corner to look at the book. And then she kind of straightens up and watches the rest of you find whatever purchase you would wish for the oncoming conversation. She leans back, almost like sitting on the edge of her desk, and she looks to Flair and she says, it's good to see you, student.
And it's good to see you as well, Doyen. I know I'm here early, but
she kind of cocks her.
You know.
She cocks her head and smiles, and she says, "Yes, your first big trip out of the station, and you were gone for how many days?"
Several.
The better part of 2 weeks. Took us about 7 days to get here, or something like that.
She looks past you and looks over the rest of the party, and then she says, "And you've brought with you strangers."
Not anymore. Friends.
hi, I'm Zed. I've taken a great liking here to Flair.
She is very likable.
Oh.
I think we
Yeah.
all have to a certain degree. And he'll kind of like bow his head and say, my name is Voss.
She kind of straightens up off the desk and she says, Voss, you may call me Doyen Song, or Sarah if you wish. It is not often we are
Doyen.
visited by followers of Aisha. She looks back and forth between the two of you.
I roll my eyes.
I would say, well, Aisha is quite new to one of us as well, but we came here at the behest of your students, Doyen, and it's an honor to meet you.
It is an honor to have both of you here. But I must say, and she turns her gaze to you, Ronan, it is even rarer that we have a follower of Eudor.
Yeah.
My
That'll just
my
like sucking air, like
Okay.
so my eyes changed to an orange color.
She'll
I have a puzzled look on my face.
Izel kind of snaps like towards Ronan.
Yeah, can I make an
Just,
insight?
yeah,
check?
like my
Can I make an
attention
insight check on
immediately
Ronan?
like is
Yeah, go ahead and make an
on
insight check.
you.
Yeah, no, my hand is like
Oh,
just below the
natural
hilt
one.
below the hilt of my sword, and I'm tensed up.
Oh,
Yeah,
I guess I
I'll-
should roll insight too. Actually, I'm
separate
gonna use a
from-
spiritual discovery
Uh-oh.
and increase this roll by 5.
Okay. What'd you get on your insight, James?
Natural 1.
Okay.
So like a 2, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Zed will just step in between. He's like, one god. A god.
So
One
14
god.
for me.
One life.
They're all, you know.
Isel, you
just
pick
like
up
wave
on
his
them for
hands, like,
nervousness.
you know.
Sarah will wave off a quick hand and she'll say, "It's all right. We have no issue with any celestial here. Celestials are far from the point of our purpose. Many faiths walk here. Your two are just rare, as their causes lean toward other ideals. I would assume that Flair didn't give you the heads up on anything bringing you here, but
Only
I
that
told
we
them
would be,
about the
quote,
league.
welcome with open arms. And I kind of like smirk at Flair. And a sideways smile.
what did you say, Flair?
She said, "Oh, I've told them all about the league and all the great people here and all the great things we do, but I may have left some things out."
And what did all of you need of the league?
Flair is
He's
like,
yeah, Zed'll just point a little more. You should take care of the kid.
"Yes, Doyen, I understand it's quite the favor to ask, but I'm afraid there wasn't really anywhere else we thought to turn. She needs to be kept safe, and unfortunately, I don't think she'll be safe with us. But if there is, if the League is unable to house her, I understand."
We have housed a Starborn before. I don't see why we can't do it a second time. I will need to speak with the other Doyens, and the Grand Doyen, of course.
Of course.
All of you
There is the small matter of those chasing her.
Ah, the other shoe drops.
Yes, that is partly why we believe she is not entirely safe with us, although I do not doubt our ability to protect her. We have other struggles currently, and Lior unfortunately has certain people who wish to find her. I figured the League would be a safe place due to its remote location.
We don't often see visitors outside of our purpose. No one ever came looking for you. And if someone were to come here looking for any of our students or members, they would have the Doyen Council to deal with.
And to be fair, they're gonna probably be tracking me, not her, to get to her. So, if I'm not here, we're good.
And that's why, Doyen, we will most likely not be staying here very long either. For her safety and for the safety of everyone in the League.
I'm gonna step out from in front of Ronan. Or, I was in front of her, I'm gonna step to her side again.
She'll not smile and nod her head, and she'll walk around behind her desk and sit at her seat and kind of level her gaze up at all of you, and she'll say, "How quickly should you be gone?"
I'll just look at Zed and Ronan.
Honestly, we should just leave now.
Yes.
Once
Assuming the
Rax
hyperlane's
checks
allow.
on the ship, of course.
Sure.
You should
Well-
take a look at it.
I'm not buying anything.
All right.
And where do you plan to go from here?
I'm not an insider.
I suppose
How's
it is
that?
time we had that conversation, isn't it?
I'll just put my finger right in front of
How
her.
are your funds for travel?
Zed's just gonna eye her and insight, even though he's
And
not
then
good
she'll
at it.
look to Flare and she'll say, "When you left, I believe you were given a fairly small penance for one."
Yes, it served me well. It still does. We've done some jobs since then. I think we might be all right. I don't know that I feel comfortable asking you or the League for anything else, given the situation.
I don't believe the League would give you more than the penance all are given when they go.
Of course, of course.
But there's work near here.
Real quick, did I get anything off that 18?
Off what? On her?
Yeah, when she asked us where we're off to next, I insight.
She seems suspicious of the rest of you and protective of Flare.
Okay.
Like, you know when parent's kid brings home a bunch of hooligans to hang out in their bedroom, and now you guys are telling her that there's these dangerous people after this girl, and like Flare's
Okay.
involved, so she's
I just wanna
like,
know the
yeah,
context
yeah,
of
yeah,
that. I'll just say, I mean, the less people that know where we're going, the better. You'd agree, yeah?
I would agree, but I do care where Flare is going and whether or not she's prepared for her journey.
Isel will step forward and say, though we are strangers to you, given what we have undergone over the past week or so, I assure you we are not strangers to Flare. Not anymore, at least.
Flare is like nodding and smiling very intently. She'll say, "We've been through a lot, actually. In fact, Voss
Yeah, I'll just put my hand.
we had some close calls.
I'll put my hand right in front of her face. Look, I don't usually. I don't tend to like kids. I know it sounds bad,
Go to bed.
but Flare's growing on me, and
She'll finger gun back towards you.
he'll just ignore it, and it was like, you know, I'm gonna look out for
I'm gonna
her.
look-
I'm good at that.
I'm gonna look at the doyen and kind of like point at Flare as she's fingering it and say, "I don't suppose you taught her that. That she had to have picked up on her travels."
I did not.
Aside from her,
Anywhere I go, especially with these guys, I think I'll be safe. You can trust me on that one.
aside from her touching me too much, she's more than welcome on our ship.
She'll get used to it.
Isel will turn to Flare and say, I believe there is a patron of, what was the name of that, what was the name of that bar?
The solar flare.
No, it wasn't in the Solar Flare.
Oh,
Is there
The
another
one we
one?
went to.
I can't remember what it was
the
called.
watering hole. The watering hole.
Yeah.
I believe there is a patron of the watering hole that would disagree.
Well, there's a difference between a hug and a grope.
I guess it's as good as time as any. Flare, what is
She cocks her head and turns it towards you, Flare, and as her eyes level on you, she says, "The watering hole? I told you not to go to Emeritus Station."
What?
She just,
What?
like-
You know every
she just-
bar on Emeritus Station?
She
He, like,
just immediately
squint his eyes.
She just immediately goes stiff. And
Yeah, no,
says,
I'm still, so you know every bar on Emeritus Station?
She looks back to you and she says, "I know many things. More than most."
She was young once.
But
You
she
should have
didn't
seen
drink
this
or
one
anything.
time at the watering hole.
Alright. And that leads us to this again. Flair, what is your mission? Why are you hanging with us?
She kind of looks flustered without breaking eye contact from the Doyen, and she'll kind of like snap out of it and like look wide-eyed at Zed, and then shake her head, and she'll say, "Oh, I was sent on a
I'm gonna look to
mission of sorts.
Sarah as this is happening.
Sent on a mission of sorts from the League to explore the universe and grow accustomed to things outside the League. And I think I did a pretty good job, right, guys?
I'm gonna keep the Clint Eastwood stare at Sarah the whole time.
So you weren't supposed to be on Emerita Station.
Well,
It must have been destiny.
See, she like points at Ronan. She's like, "Yes, see, it was destiny. I knew I needed to go there." And then she'll turn back to the Doyen and say, "Apologies, Doyen Song. I know you told me not to go to Emerita Station, but there was a job there that I just couldn't ignore. I didn't need the money, but I wanted the money. And look at all these great things that I've learned, and all these great people that I've met since then. Doesn't that count for something?"
She's
doing puppy dog eyes now for what it's worth.
She picks her head up, or she picks herself up out of the chair and walks around and stands in front of you, and she places a hand on each of your shoulders, and she just kind of rubs them lightly, and she says, "Of course it is." And then
I promise it won't happen again, Doyen.
Good. Don't go back there. And then she steps back and she looks over all of you and she says, "I will have Lior's accommodations prepared. We'll take her to meet some of the other children that are staying here currently."
Flair will stand up and start clapping, and she'll like start to say something really excitedly, and then she'll stop herself and kind of stand up straight, and she'll bow and say, "Thank you again, Doyen Song. This means a lot to me."
She says, "Of course." And then as both of you turn to look at Lior, you see that her head is sagged to the side and she's kind of softly snoring as the book is kind of like slipping out of her hand and falling towards the ground. And the Doyen lets out a sigh, and as it starts to fall, she just throws out an open palm and it stops in the air. And then it flies back into her hand and she catches it. And she says, "Just enjoy your walk about the station, and don't forget to visit Busy. She won't shut up about you."
I would say I would kind of cut in and say I think it should be known that Lior is not weak in and of herself. So it must be careful, not in a dangerous way, but she definitely has a special quality to her when she is stressed, upset, excited, something of the sort.
She smiles at you, Voss, and she says, "Of course she does. Flair did too, when she first came here. I would only imagine it is worse for one that is actually born a child."
For sure. And then I'll say, we may be strange and strangers here, but I think it is in our best interest and Flair's to protect each other as a group. As Isel said, we have seen some interesting things in the last couple weeks, and whether it's destiny or not, I think protecting each other is very high on our priorities.
I can only
nod her head.
I can only hope that Aisha's light will protect my girl.
Say that's literally in my newish job description.
Her eyes narrow on you and she says, "Haven't been a Templar very long, Voss?"
I'd say.
And then she looks back at you again, Flair.
I would say that is an understatement.
Flair, I'll contact you when I've gotten word from the Doyen Council.
Of course.
In the meantime, all of you should feel free to explore and consider your options. And Flair, if you are ready, I do believe there is an explorer's mission that would suit you.
Her eyes will light up, and she'll say, "Oh yes, of course, yes."
Do you have anywhere I can fix this? And I'll point to my grappling gauntlet.
She'll look down to it and she'll say, "You had said that you had met Brax earlier. He might be able to work on this. We don't have any smiths of this particular.
Right.
Most of the professionals here can provide services and magical abilities or teaching and histories. Don't often unarm ourselves in the station, though."
Right, I'll go find him.
It's just a grappling gun.
A little bit earlier when she mentioned Udor, after inciting Ronan, Voss would have incited Sanguisan. Look over his face, and I got a 19. I don't know if... Do you have
Chris,
any expression?
You can DM him on Discord. Alright. And as you guys exit her
That's
office
true.
and look out over the library,
I would
Where'd they
actually wait for everyone to leave,
Okay.
and then I'll stay behind.
Okay.
And I'll close the door behind them, and I'll say, "Doyen, might I have one more moment?"
of course.
She'll step forward and kind of like twiddle her thumbs together in front of her, and she'll say, "The thing Voss spoke of earlier about Lior, I wanted to make sure that you're well informed. We were in a particularly stressful situation getting Lior out of said situation, and she exhibited quite a magical power that is really surprising for a child, to be honest. I'm not sure what to make of it, but I figured I should let you know."
Yes, I believe we will have to call in the same doctor that we called in when you first came here. It was our understanding that your kind were usually born full adults, so
I'm gonna
something is wrong here.
I'm gonna insight.
Wait,
check her when
did she mention that Flair was also born as a child?
No, she
No,
said that
she
Flair
said
Okay,
it
was
wasn't.
the opposite. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she did say that Flair also had issues with controlling the star
Yeah.
stuff in her body.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna insight check her when she says that.
When she says what?
When she talked about the doctor.
Sure. What are you insight checking her for?
I'm trying to see if I'm just trying to pick up on any body language or anything that would let me know that she knows something I don't, if that makes sense.
She
does it
sounds
seem like
very-
she's-
She seems very matter of fact.
Okay. She'll just kind of pass it off. She's gonna describe in the most detail she can about Lior using her power that one time.
Okay.
But then she'll just kind of tell her about the things Lior likes and kind of her personality and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then she'll take her leave if the Doyen doesn't ask her anything.
She just basically lets you know that she's going to take it all under advisement,
Yeah.
and she'll let you know when she'll send you updates whether you're here or abroad.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She'll leave after that.
As you go to open the door, though, she you see her typing out on her screen and swiping away across the surface of the clear table, and then she looks back up at you and she says, "Oh, and don't go too close to that Z. and then she moves two of her fingers up to her head, and she taps her temple, and she says, "Dark past with that one."
I figured as much. I'll keep my distance, and I'll wink at her, then turn to leave.
All right.
Then I'll go catch up with everybody.
You find them just hanging out outside.
As she catches up, Flair, your mom's a fox.
She looks stunned for a second.
Inspiration.
And then she says, "What? My mom? She's not my mom, and she's not an animal, Zed."
He'll just nod and like look at everyone else. Like he's like, anyone else see that?
Boss would kind of like have like a little smirk on his face and kind of shake his head, like.
I'm just gonna punch him in the shoulder.
She was.
She's gonna reach out to take Isel's hand, and she'll say, "Where do these guys come up with these ideas? So silly."
I would like kind of walk past Zed and quietly say, "Children, remember your children."
Isel will say, he does seem to be quite attractive.
I'm going to,
Objectively, you perverts.
I'm going to find Rex.
That's all I was.
Nobody said anything.
Do you guys want to travel around together? Do you guys want to split up and start exploring? What would you like to do?
I'm following Flair.
I would probably go try to find Busy and Colette if she's here.
Yeah. Colette like never leaves here, so
Yeah, I figured.
Busy is on the same path that you were on, so she's probably still here.
Okay.
Since you've just recently become an explorer.
Yeah.
And so basically, are you gonna follow them running, or are you just gonna go off and find Rex?
I'll follow them.
Okay. All right.
As we start walking, I'll turn to Isel and say, "Isel, please don't date Dwayne's song." I think she's too busy.
I was merely speaking objectively.
I think they're a little young,
Oh.
anyways.
I do not believe I am ready for that kind of adventure.
Oh, me neither. She is quite the catch, though. And then she'll like finger
He'll just have a smirk on his face.
I'm gonna like smack Zed on the shoulder a couple times.
Who is
Yeah, he'll
this?
just have a smirk.
Alright,
and hands in his pocket.
Everybody gets an inspiration.
Yay.
Yay!
I feel like it's too easy with this group.
Inspiration out.
And, well, I don't give inspiration out for role play as often as I used to, so it works.
So it's just funny. Like it really seemed like we coerced you into that.
All right, so you guys want to see Rax, Colette, and Busy. And
Rex is definitely low on the list because he's at the ship. So
Yeah.
well, yeah. But if you want him to do something to your ship before you're going to leave, you want to tell him as soon as possible.
that's true.
So, who would you guys like to go see first, though?
I assume Flair's leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just ask around if anyone's seen Busy.
Okay, sure. So you exit out in the hall, out of the library, into the main hall again.
I'm sorry, I do have one thing. We can walk and talk though. I will ask Flair if there's anywhere to find out more information or to just anyone that might know anything about Aisha. Like, is there a Aisha hub or an Aisha or a library or something that I could?
She'll kind of think about it for a few seconds, and she'll say, "I feel like I saw some books on the Celestials in the Grand Library. I bet you could check there."
At the mention of Celestials, I'm going to maintain a reasonable distance from Sanguisan while keeping my eye out on him.
Oh, I bet you Colette would know. She knows everything.
I would say I would much rather talk to an individual than read.
Oh, you'll
just
love
because
Colette. She's the
experiences.
sweetest.
Fair enough. When you have a moment, would you take me to see this Colette?
Yeah, absolutely. We're all gonna go see Colette.
Oh, all right. Never mind. Lead on.
I'll start skipping.
All right.
I'll start.
Flare leads you
Pulling
guys
Isel behind me.
out of the library. You see that there's also a section that's like a large mess hall, and tucked back into the corner of that mess hall, there's another hall that turns around a corner and actually wraps into like a more private. It's almost like a lodge bar. And as you guys kind of like walk past the hallway that shows that area, you see that it's mostly full of just what appear to be like older retired league members, like smoking cigars and drinking brandies, talking about the time they were on like planet XYZ hunting the Galaga beast or something like that, you know. Like, so and you guys kind of just see this as you pass, and it wraps back around another side where you see another part of the station appears to be like a large viewing port that has several different types of like telescopes, as well as extensive like tables with 3D maps showing different parts of the galaxy. Wait 1 second. Finally, you reach a section of the ship that seems to house the majority of the students that are the recent graduates that are at Flare's rank, which are the explorers. And Flare, you having knowing that Busy took your place as kind of like the head of the students waiting to earn their explorer's badge and move up in the ranks of the league. You head basically. Flare walks you guys through what appears to be like, it's almost like a college dormitory. And near the back, you guys see a corner apartment with a closed door that just says RA, and underneath, Busy Falaguza.
She's gonna say, she's gonna light up on seeing that, and she's gonna say, there's Busy's room. Let's go find her.
Do you want to knock on the door or just go in?
I'll knock. I know Busy's well.
Okay.
I mean,
You
if
rap
there's
on-
a sock, yeah.
You rap on the door.
Yeah, gotta be careful.
There's a long pause. And then you hear the door knob turn and slowly start to open, and a voice from the inside says, "Oh my god, what's wrong now?" And the door pulls back as you guys see a Camion level out a cooking knife that's still got like flecks of meat on its edge, and kind of push back the apron over his chest, and then he kind of looks up from your boots up, Flare, and pulls back the knife quickly and says, "Oh, Flare, I thought you were one of these fucking kids. You didn't tell me how much this job sucks."
She'll light up, and she'll say the job is what you make it, Busy. No one can make you happy except you.
Oh, Jesus.
But you're back now, right? So you're coming back, and you can have the apartment back if you want. That's fine too.
She's just gonna laugh, and she'll say, "I'm not taking that job back, Busy. That's yours now. I've got other things to do."
He just shakes his head and he says, "Well, what are you here for?"
She'll kind of like look around nervously, really quick at everybody, and then she'll look back at Busy and say, "We were just here to drop off some important things, but we'll be leaving soon. But I wanted to come visit you, and I wanted you to meet my friends." And she'll like gesture behind her.
Isel finger guns.
Busy smiles at you and finger guns you back.
Yes.
Oh,
She'll
God.
say,
I am
she'll say,
Isel.
oh, there you go. Yeah.
Hello. And then he'll kind of look over the rest of you. And he'll say, he'll say, "Well, you can come inside if you want, but it's not a very big place."
She'll say, "Oh, it's okay. I've seen your room before, Busy." And she'll like step in if they'll let her.
Yeah, sure. He opens it, and it's pretty much like a studio apartment. So you're basically seeing everything he lives in.
Yeah.
You notice he's got a lot of like maps and like drawings and stuff like taped up to his walls, and like
she'll say
he's got a lot of like books out all over the place, like everybody here does.
she'll say, "I'm sorry if I'm interrupting you, Busy."
Oh no, it's fine. I'm just there was an expedition that left recently. That's why the station's orbiting Avara right now, actually.
I'm gonna like look around the room for his grug. Is it there?
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Man, I don't know if I have room for his Greg.
That's okay. Oof, nice.
Yeah, you see his Greg. You see it running in like a big hamster wheel.
She's gonna stop and like stare at it and furrow her brow and look back at Busy and put her hands on her hips, and she's gonna say, "Busy, you promised me that after I left, you would return that grug. Why is it still here?"
He's gonna shake his head at you, and he's gonna say, "Flare, I'm never returning that grug. That grug is a symbol of my defiance against the controlling force of Jugin's Academy."
She's gonna say, "No, Busy.
Busy, how old are you?
That grug is a pet, and he doesn't belong to you."
Busy's gonna fold his bottom 4 hands into his side and look up at you, Zed, and he's gonna say, "Old enough."
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
He's gonna turn and look back at you, Flare, and he's gonna say, "I don't like your friend."
I'll be standing out in the hall next to Sagwas. I'll be like, we should take him along.
She'll snort and say, "Join the club."
We'll get along, Busy.
Anyways,
he'll like look at you running like,
I was researching this expedition because the team never came back. A lot of the land.
What were they doing?
They were looking for some kind of ancient Avaran homestead or landmark past one of the biodomes in the wild parts of the planet. Said
None
they
of them
had
have come
lots of hidden treasure, though.
You know I hate it when you use that word.
No, you
How am I
don't.
supposed to? How am I?
get those treasures?
What'd
How am
you
I
say?
supposed to? How am I supposed to ignore? How am I supposed to ignore a quest like that?
Well, you're not. That's why you're part of the Loreseekers League.
Fair enough.
Question still stands. How easy is it to get to that treasure?
Oh, I'm sure it's very difficult, but I mean, the expedition leader of the last group that went was Irian Starry-Eyed, and he's quite the explorer.
Of history?
Have I heard of him?
Besides the Game of
Yeah.
Thrones reference?
Irian Starry-Eyed is like one of the more notable League members. He's not a doyen, but he's like known for being one of the people who found several of like their most treasured artifacts in their museums.
So he's Indiana Jones.
Flair's gonna pretend to like dust off one of her shoulders, and she'll say, "I've done plenty of treasure runs in my time. It won't be."
I'm gonna inside that.
As you turn and you look at her, Ronan, Busy's gonna shake his head and say, "Flair, I don't know how many times I have to tell you, but the simulation room, that's not like the real thing. You can die in the real thing."
she's gonna say, she's gonna look down at him and scowl, and she's gonna say, I know what the real thing is, Busy. How many runs have you been on? How many times have you even left the station?
Busy's gonna glare at you and say, "You just came back from leaving the station your first time. How long did it take you to come back?"
She's
And
gonna
his middle fist is gonna crinkle into the other hand.
She's gonna say, I came back with something important, which is all that matters.
Busy's gonna chuckle at you and say, "You missed Doyen's song."
She's gonna like be taken aback for a second. She's gonna say, "Well, of course I missed Doyen's song, and I missed you and everybody else, but that's not why I came back so early."
Well, I hope it was important, because, some of the other explorers are already talking about you. Doesn't look good coming back empty-handed
Yeah.
this early.
All bark and no bite, just like always, Busy.
I'm gonna again turn to Sanguisan and be like, I can't tell if they're friends or not.
Neither can I.
Well, needless to say, I'm giving it 24 more hours. Then I'm gonna try to get them to let me to go after this. See what happened to this expedition team. You should come with me. We'll make names for ourselves.
It is promising.
Maybe this is what your Doyen was talking about in regards to work, Flair.
You could be right. We'll have to check back with her and see what she says. But Busy, if we do this mission together, no funny business. Don't bring any of those weird gadgets, and don't bring the grug. That poor thing has seen enough trouble.
I would never bring Calamedes into a jungle like that.
Oh, what? You named it now?
Hey, stop it.
Take back that grug and I'll stop it. No, you're not supposed to have it.
You weren't there!
But if I was there, Busy, you wouldn't have a grug right now. As it should be. She's gonna lean
You never
down
know.
and ruffle the fur on his head, which I'm sure he hates. And she'll say it was good seeing you, Busy. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, sure. Seriously, though, we should go after that. Get back to me. Otherwise, I'm going in alone.
She'll like sigh and she'll say, "Well, we can't have that. You do need me after all."
We done here?
She'll kind of laugh and she'll say, "Yeah, I think so." And then she'll turn back and say, "Oh wait, Busy. Do you know where Colette is?"
Oh, Colette's always in the basement.
Oh.
Nice to meet you,
She's
Brizzy.
got that supercomputer she's working on or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Guys, let's go meet Colette. Bye, Busy.
Yeah, nice to meet you,
Run up.
Brizzy.
As you guys shuffle out the door, there's kind of a giggle, Zed, as you exit, and two fairly young Leonti girls are kind of like stepping out of one of the other rooms and have seen you. And Busy just leans out the door and glares at you, and then looks at the two of them and says, "Stay away from him. He's got the clap." Slams the door shut.
How would he know? Yeah, like look at them. I'll look at them. How would he know? I'll just walk off.
And they both kind of just move away from you.
Oh my god.
So that's what they're calling a big dick these days.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Flair will just like laugh when she hears that, and then we'll walk for a few moments, and she'll turn to look at Isel and say, "What does that mean?"
It means we should take him with us for the rest of our journey.
Oh.
I
That's,
believe it means his genitals are diseased.
I'll lean in.
Excellent.
Isol has like an encyclopedic knowledge of slang.
Yeah. That'll lean in.
So like,
That'll lean in again. How would he know that? And then with the smirk.
She's gonna turn back and like put a hand on Zed's arm, and she's gonna say, "I'm so sorry to hear that, Zed. I'm sure we can have our medics look at you."
Does that mean it's true then, Zed?
It was a joke. He didn't want me to pick up his. I'm assuming he's attempting to.
I would slightly racistly pull
Your
my
assumption is
T-Rex my
correct.
arms in, like T-Rex my arms in, and go. I'm gonna say he's got a lot of limbs to explore with. He might know more than you think. Like kind of like trying to be funny and a little racist at the same time.
Claire's gonna laugh and
He's a
say,
Camian.
Claire's gonna laugh and say, if Busy ever left his room, he might be able to try that.
I think your friend just doesn't like me.
No, I don't think so.
he was not shy
You seem-
about that.
You seem to have a lot of people that don't like you, Zed. But it's okay. I like you enough for all of them.
Thank you, Flair.
And none of them are Sanguisan's sister, and that's all that matters.
I didn't tell me I had a sister.
Actually,
I mean, I feel like she definitely doesn't like him.
yeah, you did shoot her, so
Shot her a glance, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
That's right.
All right, so you guys want to go find Colette?
Jesus.
Yes.
So heading back to the Grand Library, you take a similar lift to the one you took up to the offices, down the other side into the library basement. You walk through a series of quiet, dimly lit rooms where you actually see members appear to be poring over different relics and artifacts that are being studied for their purpose, the elements of their magic, and those kind of things. In one of these offices, you find another friend of Flair's. She stands within a large projected map of the galaxy, and as she sees all of you enter with Flair at the head, she taps her gauntlet and it shudders down, and she smiles and she says, "Flair, back so soon."
Flair's gonna get like way over the top happy, like a basic white girl who just met her friend she hasn't seen in 24 hours happy. And like
Damn.
she's gonna run over to Colette and just hug her.
Colette kind of embraces you, knowing what to expect, and hugs you for a long moment, and then as you release, she does too, and she says, "And what brings you down to visit me in the basement?"
She's gonna say, well, I couldn't swing by the station and not visit my best friend.
She smiles and extends an index finger, and she just boops you on the nose.
She's gonna look all around and she's gonna say, do that thing that you just did. Turn it back on.
She kind of cocks her head and then hits the button, and the galaxy map comes back up.
Yeah, she just kind of stares at it wide-eyed. She's gonna say, I don't remember you having this last time.
She smiles and she kind of spins around inside of it, and until she her eyes meet yours again, and she says, "Yes, a relic they've brought me to appraise."
Just say, that's so cool. I really want to know more about it, but I don't think we can stay here for very long. But I wanted to come see you and see what you're up to and what the League has you doing these days.
Same as always. Putting my talents for identification to use. Studying and
Good thing.
cataloging.
And it's a good thing the League has you.
Waiting for the day that you'll bring me a relic.
She's just gonna kind of stop, as if she was about to say something, and she's gonna say, "Yes, I'll bring you something interesting. I promise."
Of course.
And then she'll gesture back at everybody and say, and say, Colette, these are my new friends. I met them on Emeritus Station.
Didn't
nice to
Doyen
meet you.
Song specifically tell you not to go to Emeritus Station?
Doyen Song says a lot of things. But hey, once I'm out of the station, I mean, she's still the boss. But like, you know, is she the boss?
It seems she cannot stay mad at Flair for long.
Yes,
It is
Flair
already
has that
forgiven.
effect on people.
She shoots finger guns at multiple people.
Just starts shooting him at everybody in the room.
Yeah. She just say it worked on all these guys.
I'm Zed.
Colette.
Nice to meet you.
Isel.
Hello. She moves to shake your hand too, Isel.
I will do so.
And a cleric and Templar of Aisha. Quite interesting.
Ronan shifts
say-
uncomfortably.
Is that I'll look back and wink at you, Ronan.
Voss will say, an unlikely pair, but learning to be more familiar every day. I'm Voss Vias, and I'll kind of like half bow and like hold out my hand.
She'll shake your hand.
I'm gonna like reach a hand out towards Ronan and like gesture for her to like come closer, and she'll say, "Come on, Ronan, don't be shy."
She'll let out a sigh and move closer, extending her hand while looking away. The name's Ronan.
Flair's like really excitedly hopping up and down at this point.
She shakes your hand, Ronan, and she says, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Flair will say, we're all on a constant mission to find new friends. I'm on an extra mission to find Ronan extra friends.
Yeah, he is. You can let him out.
Well, Ronan, you can include me as a friend if you are a friend of Flair's. As all of you can.
Right.
See that, Ronan? You got another friend.
Do you know anything about this mission to the surface that Busy was going on about?
Ah, yes. Several weeks ago, a group of very experienced explorers with the League went into the Green Lord, one of the denser jungles on the surface of Avara. They have not come back out. There are several that are quite worried that Irion finally met his fate. He was one of the boldest.
And he still is. I refuse to believe he's gone just like that. He's come back from truly horrifying places. I can't imagine this one was any worse. But in any case, we may be going down there and see if we can find him and the others.
Flair. Irion and his men were very experienced explorers. I do
Yeah.
not doubt your abilities, and I'm sure all of your friends
Damn it.
are quite experienced in their own trades. But do you really think it's a good idea to just march into a jungle where a bunch of people disappeared and
Yeah, let me
No,
step in
hopefully
here
not.
real quick.
same?
Well, we're gonna send Busy in first.
Let me how renowned was the Starry Eye guy?
Oh, very. He's one of the best explorers we've had.
Can I do a history check?
Go and make a history check.
So if he's one of your best explorers, and we're in the
Actually-
market to make as much money as easily as possible, that doesn't seem very easy, now does it?
No, but how would we know until we try?
He'll just roll his eyes.
I got a 15 history check on the green. Whatever you said, whatever the jungle is.
Green Lord.
Yeah, the Green Lord. Have I ever? I only did it because I'm proficient in history.
Yeah.
You might have read about it.
You've heard of it. It's a very dense jungle section. Avara is like probably the most in the most natural state of any of the planets in the galaxy. And the nature on Avara
It's just like biomes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they have
biomes
like
and
they live in like biodomes, but they're not really like physical barriers. They more make it so they don't necessarily have to be as affected by like what can be sometimes like a very oppressive climate, like very, very humid and uncomfortable. And also it does a little bit to help with like not having to breathe like like weird things, because like there are like toxic plants and like plants that like eat people and stuff in these jungles. So
makes sense.
like, yeah,
For sure.
Me and
Flair
Ronan will be
kinda-
fine.
Yeah.
Flair will kind of think for a few moments, and she'll say, she'll look at Zed with a frown, and she'll say,
Isel,
Say,
sorry,
well-
real quick.
Oh, yeah.
You have heard of Irian Starry-Eyed. You don't know
Just
much
not like
about.
read up on him.
Yeah, but you know that he's like a famous explorer.
yeah, she'll look at Zed with a frown, and she'll say, well, you may be right. If Irian went down there and really did meet his match, then maybe we're not quite ready. Maybe I'm not quite ready.
As
But-
much as you would make quite the name for yourself, I think you should, consider all of your options.
Yeah,
Perhaps
there is a whole galaxy
we should
out
listen
there
to
explore.
Doyen's song this time.
You're right.
I mean, how renowned would one be if you completed this mission?
Oh, very.
Well, I'm sure all of you would have the right to, or at least argue for the rank of explorer without having to go through any of the schooling, if you were to find.
He'll look to Ronan. Explorer Zed.
Renowned and infamous are two very different things that sound very similar.
You guys
Don't need to
could
go
all be
giving your head
explorers,
a-
just like me.
expansion.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Ronan.
We don't need to give your head a bigger expansion.
Explorer Ronan.
Ooh, I like that, Ronan. You know you do too.
Colette cocks her head and then
flatly.
Colette cocks her head, thinking, and then says, "Ronan the Explorer."
Ooh, that's better.
Even better. He'll like put his hand out towards her.
Well, in any case, Zed is right. This is a very dangerous mission, and Isel is right. We should consult the Doyen first.
The more people know of you, the more egregious an assault on you would be. Wouldn't you agree, Ronan?
I'm not going to justify that with a response.
That was a response.
Colette smiles and looks at Ronan. I like you.
See, Ronan, there you go.
Making
friends
friends, Ronan.
You just have to meet him.
You become an explorer, you can hang out with this friend more.
And we could go on missions together.
Vaz is gonna look at Colette, like kind of catch her eye as they're like talking, do whatever, and say, "Flair said you might be the one who could provide some insight on my rather new affiliation with Aisha. I do have access to the lighthouse, though I have never been there yet. But what is
New
the
affiliation
League's
with
take?
Aisha?
Say, I have not been a Templar long. Let's just say that.
Interesting. I believe that Aisha's Templar were raised from birth.
I'd say that is much more pressure than I felt before this conversation. And
Seems you do
he
know
will-
little.
I would say, which is exactly why I
She
mean
doesn't-
to ask you.
For the record, she doesn't say it in an insulting way at all. It's very matter of fact.
Okay. Yeah, I will just kind of like trudge on because I know I'm getting trolled about this everywhere I go. But I would say, what is the League's take on Aisha? Just to sate my own curiosity.
You don't even know anything about Aisha?
I know what
Ronan,
she
Literally
has
burned.
given me.
Give him a break.
Ronan, be nice.
I look
You
around
haven't
and I would
even
say
known that long.
I got a crash course from the Celestial herself, and that does not mean I know everything.
You ever meet your god, Ronan? Come on.
That doesn't mean I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, but like
I would
Don't
look
know
back to
until
Colette.
Ronan's god.
She looks back to you, Voss, and she says, "Crash course from a celestial."
Let's just say this was this lifestyle of a Templar was only given to me after said Celestial turned her gaze on me.
Aisha.
Said Celestial.
She'll turn and look at the rest of you and say, "Is he being purposely vague, or did I get lost somewhere?"
he's being
We've-
purposely.
Oh, no
We've been
secrets,
on-
no secrets.
He was
I
shot in the
died
skull.
Is there a
about.
reason you
Yeah,
do not
I
wish
died
to
a
tell
few
her what
days ago.
happened?
No, I just don't. I don't know her very well, and I didn't know you very well. But you witnessed it happening, so
Quite
I'm not.
interesting. You look quite healthy.
I know,
I
isn't
believe
it?
that is where
very true.
Aisha came in.
He's actually gotten.
Yes.
He's actually gotten bigger.
And it seems they all know more about me and my transformation than I do. As I'm like looking at Colette. Thanks for telling my story, guys. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
The League takes no stance on any celestial being. For their part, they have stepped away from our galaxy, at least physically, and considering the power they have, we should be glad of it. That is my opinion. I cannot speak for the League.
I agree. The power she wields is unfathomable. But Flair said you would be the one that knows everything in this place, and I took her word for it, and that is why I've asked.
If you truly were given a crash course by the Celestial herself somehow, I would imagine that everything you need to know is within your head, and perhaps you simply need to focus on it.
And go on more adventures.
And go on more adventures.
So I kind of look at her, like kind of half smile and shake my, or like nod my head and say, "That is." I'm relatively new to this adventuring thing too, so self-introspection has never been something I am been fond of. But that is a good point.
See, I told you Colette knows everything.
I appreciate the recommendation, little one.
I don't know everything, but
You kinda do, though.
I have a photographic memory. Everything I take in, I remember. Doyen's song is really the one who knows everything.
But that seems like a pretty useful tool. Like looked at Ronan.
She is a extremely powerful telepath.
Oh, I was talking about the photographic memory, not Flair's hot mom.
Oh.
Flair like blushes.
She her eyes squint and she kind of looks up at you as you say that, Zed, and she says, "You realize I can't forget that now."
Yeah, that's fine.
Welcome to 90% of interactions with Zed.
I'll kind of like squint my eyes and ignore what everybody else saying. I'll say, that is not teachable, is it? Like I'm very serious about the photographic memory part.
There are ways to improve your memory with exercise. But I was born with photographic memory.
He'll kind of like nod his head and look kind of crestfallen a little bit. But
Are you gonna deny that she's hot? Smile as he says that.
I don't think anybody's denying that.
Exactly.
Oh my god, you guys. Why?
I'll look
is-
at
I'm
Zed
not.
and
I wasn't expecting a response. I was just like, I looked
I'll look at
around
Zed and say,
exactly.
if she was as powerful, a very powerful telepath, I imagine that she has already heard your opinion on herself.
I didn't try to make a move. I'm staying in my lane.
That's probably the best call.
Yes, the Doyen is very busy and has no time for such things. Right, Zed?
If she's a telepath, she knows everything I was thinking. Let's just say we're good we walked out of there.
Must also consider Zed's condition at the moment.
Yes, my condition. What's that? Oh. What?
Voss Bias will start clapping his hands. Not saying anything.
No, Weston knows, but oh, Jesus. Hey,
Werewolf.
hey, I have a question. In all seriousness, I'm sorry, Colette. How often does that the Locamian guy get out?
Busy?
Yeah, busy.
Not often. He spends most of his time in his room, much too focused on realities that may not be real. Conspiracies.
And taking care of animals that aren't his.
Oh, I wouldn't take Calamedes away from him. I'm afraid we'd never come out again. Besides,
so
we have heard questionable things about the Academy.
Yeah, so the ladies across his room, is he interested in them or something? They were looking at me and he had to make a joke.
He's just insecure.
Okay.
Perhaps
Just want to make sure he's not a...
from you.
Colette,
yeah, that'll just laugh.
Colette will frown and say, I'm sure he was probably just attempting to protect them from you.
You know what? That's fair.
Speaking of protecting people from Zed, I fear that the League has learned too much from us at this point. Maybe we should go talk.
Yeah, let's we done here?
Always good to see you, Flair, and nice to meet all of you.
She's gonna run up and give Colette a big hug again.
She'll give you another hug.
Yeah, Zed'll give
Um,
a sarcastic
before we-
salute.
Before we leave, Isel will say, though your advice was not directed at me, I believe I will benefit from it. My thanks.
She'll nod her head and smile at you and say, my advice is for anyone who needs it.
Right. Well, if you ever need anything, here's my here's data pads.
Yeah.
Contact info.
Here's my contact information. I'll give her.
That'll smirk.
I'll send her my contact information.
Okay.
Claire's like ridiculously happy.
Flair the matchmaker.
All right. And you guys want to go to Rax from here?
Yeah, I'm gonna slide in next to Ronan and take her arm as we start walking, and then she's just gonna like wave back to Colette.
Okay. And as you guys head back to the port where, Rax is...
On the way, I would say, should we not go talk to your Doyen again? She mentioned work, and it might not be this very experienced, or this disappeared group of very experienced explorers, but work is work, and we don't really have a set direction from here, do we?
Well, I don't think we're gonna leave yet. I think Rax still needs to take a look at the ship, and the Doyen said she would contact me with more information. But if it gets to be a long time and we haven't heard from her, we'll go check in.
Hey, Flair, how much do you trust this Rax?
Rax? Oh, I would trust him with my life. He's the best mechanic here.
Perfect.
All right. And as you guys head off to find Rax, I think we'll take our break.
Okay.
Alright.
So you guys want to head to Rax?
Yeah.
I think that's what we were
Da.
doing.
All right. So
Duh.
heading back through the spaceport, you guys actually find Rax with some various containers of equipment working on the ship next to your guys, and he kind of slides out from underneath the hood and smiles at all of you, and he says, "Back so soon."
Yeah, I just needed to see if you could fix this for me. And I'm show him the grapple gauntlet.
He looks it over, and after a couple minutes, he smiles and sits on one of the crates, and he says, "It would take me a couple hours, but I could get it working for you again."
Perfect.
Rex, walk with me. Talk with me.
Sure.
You like
yeah,
ships. I like ships. We both like ships.
I'm gonna walk him to the ship, away from everyone. Like, I just wanted to know if you could do a once over to see if there's any tracking devices or anything on the ship. Anything that raises an eyebrow.
I could I could comb over the ship. Depending on how thorough you wanted it to be, it could take a considerable amount of time.
I'll look back to the group. I'll call it Flare. Flare, what did I? What was it in Gizmo? When did you say that rescue thing was going down?
I don't know. I wasn't really listening to him, to be honest.
Tell you what. Please start doing a go over of it. And if we got to bail, we got to bail. Is that cool? I mean, fix her arm thing first. That'll point to.
You got it.
Thank you. Been more helpful than most.
Nah, anything for Flair. Captain Flair.
That's right, Captain Flair, and he'll like do a sarcastic.
What is your job on the ship? Are you like cleaning crew?
I'm a first mate. He'll smile.
Look at
Interesting.
you checking me, you go at the door.
I would have thought the first mate was that adorable little robot.
No, he's my first mate, and I'll start walking away.
Not a conversation we want to be a part of anymore.
You'll see Rax extend a finger and then another finger and tip his head in the air and mutter to himself, "Second mate."
No. The first mate's first mate.
He's the first mate's first mate.
Totally different.
Assistant to the assistant manager.
Exactly. That's what the difference is.
Depends on the kind of ship. Some ships, historically speaking, first mates were more powerful than captains.
I know, that was
True.
Especially pirate ships. So.
The hand speaks with the king's voice. Come on, guys.
Weston, stop quoting the Bible. All right.
That's
What do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to talk to Rax about anything else?
I'm good.
I got nothing.
I'd make like idle chit chat with him as he's fixing Ronan's grappling gun, but I wouldn't try to distract him too much.
It's a gauntlet. Thank you very much, people.
Right.
It's a grapple gun.
What is there anything else you guys want to do while you're here? Or do you want me to fast forward a bit and get you some of these answers? That's your saying.
Yeah,
I would show Voss to the library if you still
Go
wanted
back
to
to the
check that
Grand
out.
Library.
Yeah, just to show him around.
You guys have been there twice, so.
Yeah, I would have gleaned everything. I wasn't looking for like deep knowledge or anything. I was just like kind of asking opinion. Like, wanted to gain knowledge, but obviously, like if she said that they don't really deal with the Celestials, then it's not going to be. I don't think the library's going to be all that much help. I'm not a big reader.
True. That's not true. Their library is like extensive, but what was meant when that was said was more that like celestial belief systems don't really come into play into the Loreseekers League's purview. Like they're not.
All right.
They try to stay unrelated from religious organizations.
Okay.
So
kind of group.
All right, then yeah, I'll let her lead me back then, and I will seek someone within the library too. That looks like they
would be able to
there.
They would be able to add a fairly extensive library of articles and books on Aisha and Aisha's teachings and beliefs and histories involving Aisha, like orders of Aisha, to your like data pad if you wanted.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
It would probably be like 30 volumes. So
I will look at that and I'll kind of like raise my eyebrows and look at whoever's I'm asking and say, is there anything that I wouldn't be able to find from the lighthouse? That's more what I'm trying to look for.
the librarian just kind of looks up at you and looks confused for a moment and says, "Oh, I'm quite sure that the lighthouse has more curriculum than we could ever hope for. They say that all of the original texts are kept there."
I'd say yes. I'm not a normal follower of Aisha, as I've not been to the lighthouse yet. This is a complicated story, but I was just looking for knowledge, seeking knowledge. I appreciate what you've done for me.
Of course.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. You guys spend some more time. You kill some more time, and after about 2 hours of 2 more hours, you would Flare. You would receive word on your data pad from Doyen Song that Lior has begun acclimating to her new room, and her paperwork has been pushed forward and accepted.
Good.
And you guys would also receive word from Rax that the gauntlet is fixed, and he has begun combing over the ship.
Sweet.
He is having difficulty combing over the engine room because there's a particularly grumpy robot inside who will not open the door.
That's
For
understandable.
strangers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, just leave that alone.
You can just lock him in the smuggler's.
to be
Wow.
fair. If Rax can't get through him, I don't think anyone can.
I had a Star Wars character that treated robots like that pretty regularly.
I recall.
I mean, like, they're not people in that game.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No, they definitely aren't. They still messed up, but yeah.
Well, they're not in this either, right? Like they're
like Sal is
totally different than the medics.
He just appears
He's
to have
programmed to be
personality.
Yeah, he's.
Zed thought it was really kitschy, really nice, cool little novelty.
Hey, Zed loves Sal. It's you who
I
has
know.
problem with Sal. When you're affronted by just quiet head shaking, you want someone else to be like, "Fuck you."
You spend some more time exploring, and Flare kind of shows you guys like the big telescope room, which you can use to look at different areas of the galaxy and stuff. And eventually, Flare, you receive word from Doyen Song again, and it says that that she sought audience with the Doyen Council, and Lior's acceptance is finished. And it also says that she will, in any way she can, assist you guys in whatever step forward you decide to take.
Is it like a phone call to me, or is it just like she sent me a message?
It's like a message.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let everyone else know that like the council has approved of Lior staying here. Flyer would look super excited about that. and she'll say that Doin Song will accommodate us however we choose to proceed. And then she'll kind of look at her data pad for like a couple seconds, and then she'll look up and she'll say, "What are we doing next?"
I think we're becoming explorers. I looked at Ronan with a smile.
At least it'll probably pay well.
Look, if Caius affronts some explorers, he's got answers to some people, you know?
Like me.
Exactly.
Are you saying there's an implication?
The more, like I said earlier, like, you know, you attack a celebrity, it's known, right? And that other person's automatically the bad guy. We become celebrities. Anyone who attacks us is the bad guy.
Right. Well, I'll minimize my fame, but you feel free to inflate your ego some more.
It's. I don't think it can get any bigger.
There's a lot of
On
perks
that we
come
can
with being an
agree.
explorer.
Given your
Come on,
inclination to anger those that we encounter, perhaps it is best that we do not gain too much notoriety.
To be fair, we only anger very specific types of people. They'll like roll his eyes.
But many of those very specific kinds of people.
You know, people do like me. You know that, right? He'll just smile.
I like you.
He's
I
got.
mean,
Yeah,
all
he's
of
got.
us,
to
I
let
presume.
that sit. Yeah.
I didn't like you when we first met.
But now
I
she
think-
does. See, there's room for change in people.
I think you should reevaluate that statement, Ronan. He'll just squint his eyes.
Well, it is true. I didn't like you when you walked in the door.
That's right.
And maybe Caius will learn to like you too. You just got to give him the chance.
Caius liking me isn't the problem. And he'll leave it at that.
I need to amend that.
Well-
When I walked in
well,
the door.
You have to like him too, Zed. Friendship is a two-way street.
I don't want to have this conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk to him next time we see him. How about that?
Hey, next time you're in an uncomfortable conversation, just say, "I don't want to have this conversation."
That's a pretty good way of getting out of a conversation. So.
I'm gonna send a message to Doin Song and see if she will meet with me / us again
Sure.
about a mission.
Sure. Yeah. She responds to you pretty quickly that she'll be in her office the rest of the day. So whenever you
Okay,
guys
yeah.
want to meet up with her, you can.
I'll let everyone know and say she seems adamant about helping us. But I wouldn't want to waste her time.
It seems like we have very few avenues. Personally, I would like us to go to the lighthouse, saying as I have never been there and
It
wish
would
to
be
know
a
more
good
about
place.
my change.
Would be a good place.
but
for you to
I-
go.
Yes, but I think they're even less accommodating to strangers and non-followers of Aisha more than this place is to strangers.
Well,
Given
then,
what we
we'll
have
just
learned
have-
about Ronan, perhaps that is not wise.
We'll just become explorers, and then we'll all become Templars.
Yeah, there's not
What
going
is
to be
that
any
supposed to
problems.
mean?
I would say the Keltal-sized elephant in the room, or the Keltal Celestials-sized elephant in the room, has to be talked about at some point, Ronan.
Yeah, what was the deal with that?
I do not believe it needs to be addressed. Simply that it is
Guys, there's
a reason
multiple
not
gods.
to visit the lighthouse.
That's fair.
I think that the more jobs that we take and the more danger we put ourselves into as a group, the less secrets we should have between us. And I am not judging. Who am I to judge? I have had two different things that I know very little about not rule my decisions, but inform them greatly in the past week. I'm not judging. I just simply mean to acknowledge it because
I
it was
agree
something we
that-
did not know before.
Sanguisan, what are you doing right now?
Probably staring daggers at Ronan.
No, 'cause
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's why I'm an open book, and he'll like have a smirk. There.
Just trying to defuse the situation.
Anyway, guys, there's more than one god. Let's just go with that and get over this. Yeah.
And secrets or no, the more we adventure together, the better we'll know each other.
But if we had gone to the lighthouse first, and they had figured this information out, and that is how we found out. This conversation would not be going like it is.
there's no
It's just
like
Correct.
so like Sanguisan, you would know that like if a follower of Eudor walked into the lighthouse, they wouldn't be in immediate danger. They would
No,
be treated,
but-
they would be treated with suspicion.
that's what I mean.
So
I would say.
Honestly, that's
But
what I expected as well. Like,
like
Yeah.
for the record, you would also know that like you could definitely get the entire party like landed in the lighthouse. It's just it wouldn't be as open a situation as here. Like if you guys went somewhere, like there'd probably be a couple Templar that followed you there and that kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
like they definitely trust Sanguisan, but like they're just a more protective group of people.
That's all I meant.
A lot of the
character.
people at the lighthouse like exist there like in meditation, taking in the rays of the sun to empower themselves and stuff, and they're just like a very enclosed society.
Right.
I would say, and who knows? I may not, regardless of my new affiliation, I may not be as welcome there, and I will be just as welcome there as the rest of you. We do not know. I'm just saying it must be acknowledged because it was something that you were obviously keeping hidden.
Because it's a personal part of my past that I would like not to dredge up.
Maybe she kept it hidden because of this exact situation. You ever think about that?
I did. Well, this exact situation is an open conversation with no judgment from me. She's not threatened right now. Nobody is threatening her. Nobody is
All right. All right.
putting her down, or I'm just merely curious.
All right. As
Perhaps
you're
it's
being
best-
genuine, that's fine.
Perhaps it's best some secrets lie dormant for now.
I do need to know one thing, though. Ronan, do you still hear the voice?
I know not of which you are referring to.
Has Udor spoken to you directly?
Not to my knowledge.
So I do believe Udor would be looking for me. If you should tell him that you're traveling with me, it could turn out very poorly.
Let's hope he doesn't contact me then.
That would be for the best.
Doesn't that feel
Explorers?
better?
Explorers.
Yes, explorers. Let's go talk to the Doyen. Like right now? Come on, Isaac.
Thank you, Flair. I'm gonna walk out ahead of everyone.
Alright. Fairly shortly after that, you guys are back in.
I would like kind of, I guess, like as we're walking, get close to Ronan, just say, "I apologize if I made you uncomfortable. I was simply trying to point out the reason why perhaps the lighthouse would not be the best destination for us."
I understand. She kind of tenses her jaw.
There are none of our kind in my home that did not fight in the war. You are among friends.
She gives a slight nod as they continue walking.
And then I will leave you alone.
And fairly shortly after that, you guys find yourself in Doyen Sarasong's office. She sits in her chair behind her desk and smiles and says, "So, have all of you chosen your course of action?"
Well, Doyen, we heard that there is a mission being put together to go to the surface of Avara to look for the missing explorers. We wanted your opinion on how dangerous that may be. And we would like to offer our help if it would be needed.
Based upon Irian's level of experience, I'd say that would be a terrible idea.
Flair looks sad.
But I have a job related to it, if you're interested.
Anything we can do to help.
We need a little groundwork done. Closest biome to the area he disappeared in is the Green Lord biodome. Past that, in the wilderness, the last time we received a message from him, he told us he had reached a place called Chaldra. Some kind of village of Avarans still living in more traditional fashions, surviving in the wilderness. He believed that their town was built at the edge of a caldera that led down to some kind of ancient, long-lost city. Needless to say, our interests were piqued. We need a group to go ahead, reach Chaldra, establish for ourselves some kind of place of stay, so that the teams that do go into the caldera and explore the city looking for Irian can move ahead quickly, on pace. I believe this part of the mission is something that you could handle.
Flair will stand up straighter and she'll say, I think we can handle it. And then she'll look around at everybody.
What's the reward for this kind of job? Well, I'm interested in saving him, if that's what your complaint was. Although I'm sure you already knew that.
She smiles and she says, as you will be working as a hired third party, I could offer your party 7,000 credits.
Yeah, Zed'll just look to everyone. Like,
That's a lot of dope.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm in.
And it's an
I
acceptable
would very
bounty.
much like to meet these Avarin.
She looks to the three who have not responded.
I'll kind of look at Sanguisan and I'll say, seems like a direction to go in. I'm okay with it.
If we can help in any way, why not?
Precisely.
Flair will stand up straight and she'll salute and she'll say, as an explorer, I cannot turn down this task.
Good. Obviously, payment is upon job completion.
Obviously.
We have an outfitters near the port. She hands Flair. She hands you a clear plastic, kind of glowing orange, like data card, and she says, "This will tell them what supplies you'll need for the journey." May have thrown something extra in there for you.
I'll bow and say, "Thank you, Doyen. You won't be disappointed."
And to be clear, the completion of this would be to establish somewhat of a forward base of operations for the explorers, correct?
Yes.
Just making sure I understood. Shipping
Oh my goodness.
by an NPC.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'll send all relevant data to your ship. Oh, and outsiders' ships aren't strictly allowed to enter the atmosphere of Avara, but landing craft can reach the biodomes. So you'd have to port outside. I called ahead to Rax. He happened to notice that both of your landing craft sections are empty, so we'll be providing you with one.
Providing us.
Damn. Like, as a loner. I'm not asking that in character.
We all know what alone means to Zed. Come on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
This is true.
Excellent.
My thanks. He's trying to keep his head as clear as possible.
Did you,
Just like-
any of you have any other questions for me?
None that I can think of.
Well, among these supplies you're providing us, will there be any basic medical gear? As someone has neglected to stock our ship with some.
Yes, there will be supplies.
Shade?
We
I
don't
feel
have an abundance,
personally
but
attacked.
I've set aside what I could. Okay. Be glad that Flare is with you.
Aren't we always?
I'll finger gun Flare and say, "Thanks, kid."
I'll shoot a finger gun back to you and wink. I'll say, "Captain Flare's got your back."
Yeah, just
Well, reach the outfitters and be on your way. For Irian's sake, I believe time is of the essence.
Of course. I'll bow and kind of like gesture for everybody.
I give a slight bow.
I'll do
And
like the sarcastic salute and say, "On the way out." Did Doyen's date?
So you start to salute, and
Yeah.
then you say, "Do Doyens," and she looks up at you and
Yeah.
she says, "You couldn't handle this."
He'll just like hold his arms out like that, like. As I'm walking out, because I know she can hear me, I'll say to Ronan, "Always chasing the ones I can't handle." Come, what is it?
I'd say she's more of a wolf than a fox. Ed.
You are getting
That was
clever and
quite
clever,
humorous.
Flare.
She looks
Oh, man.
as she starts walking.
Mhm.
So far, that's like the bar for like the jokes that Isel gets right away. Like basic wordplay.
Basic wordplay. It's like Captain America when he's like, "I got that one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite scenes. All right.
Except he doesn't know when he doesn't get
Where
it,
your head
like,
goes.
most of the time.
What was it?
I asked if there's anything you guys wanted to do before you headed to the outfitters.
Hell no. Probably.
So, are the outfitters with Rax, I assume?
They're also in the port. Rax
Okay.
isn't part of the outfitters, but
Yeah. Because I need to grab my gauntlet before we go. assuming
Rax
he's
is like
heading
at your guys' ship. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we'll Go to the Outfitters.
Yes,
Sorry,
yes,
guys,
yes.
I'm looking for a thing. And
Pan-galactic Gargle Blasters are on the bottom of the equipment list.
yeah,
Remember when you had one of the boba from my Pan-galactic Gargle Blaster?
that was hilarious.
That was amazing, Shane.
Mm-hmm.
a good time. Sorry, now I'm looking for.
Those are among the drinks at the Star Wars bar on Sunset. It was a very expensive drink.
They were all
Very
pretty
bad.
expensive.
Scum and Villainy.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, man, I've always wanted to go there, but I'm gonna go for a Kevin Smith show, I think. So
Well, let me know. I'm not too far from there.
all right. So you guys go back to the port, and you reach the Outfitters, which is kind of like a small gated area at the side of the port where you see like containers set aside with codes, and you guys match up to yours and slip the key code inside and open it.
That's what she said.
Opening it, you guys see before you your supplies, and they include. You guys are like, how nice? How nice is he gonna be? Sorry, I'm looking for-
It's like 3 boxes of bananas and nothing else.
Hey man, bananas are pretty important, especially in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, but they'll go bad.
Well, this isn't Sea of Thieves, so
They don't go bad in Sea of Thieves.
It's the only thing to eat in
Space bananas don't go bad, okay?
Okay.
so you guys inside, you guys find 1 month's rations.
Mm.
Space horticultural.
You guys find 6 med kits.
Are medkit's the one with a spell slot?
No,
Two?
med kits are
Those are the
not.
ones.
You find 3 potions of healing.
Spell slots.
Those are the ones.
Those are the spell slots. Got it.
Is it 3
What
potions?
do they
now?
do? They get back like a first level slot or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
3 potions of healing, 6 med kits.
That's it?
No.
Oh, okay.
You find
3 crates
inside
of banana.
inside Flare, you find a small package that is wrapped and tied with a bow and has your name on it.
I open it immediately.
Right. Inside, you find a silver banded ring with a blue jewel at the center of it. It appears to be very fine craftsmanship, and a small note that says, "Don't stop running." Doyen song.
Mm.
Baby, you were born. So...
I will carefully put it. I assume it comes in like a little box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll like put it back in the box and hold on to it and just kind of be smiling to myself.
Also, inside, your party finds. I'm sorry.
It's a weird note to send someone when you propose to them.
Nah.
Look, man.
You find 2 pairs of night vision goggles,
That brings our total to 3 guys.
and you
I
find
can't see in the dark.
No,
And
can
you-
I?
and you
Now
find
you can.
a deployable shield.
Oh,
Ooh. Are those one-time use things?
They can be repaired if they're not completely destroyed.
Okay.
So not
Like, as in,
necessarily-
like if the item after it's like gone down to like 0 hit points is destroyed, not like if the shield gets to 0 hit points, it's destroyed.
It would be possible for it to get to 0 hit points and still be repairable, but like if like
Okay.
something
Yeah.
blows it up into a bunch of little pieces or something
Yeah,
like that,
sure.
it's like
Okay. Yeah.
it depends on how it's taken down.
For sure. For sure. Makes perfect sense to me.
Those are the kind. Is that more like a bubble shield, or is that like a shield that's just in front of us? Kind of
It's
like a.
you lay it
What
on
is
the
that Overwatch
ground.
character's name?
Yeah.
Ryan?
Eliza.
Well, it's not an energy. It's not an energy shield. It's
Oh,
like
it is like a
you
physical barrier.
You lay it down and it turns into cover.
yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
And I think that was everything. That.
You guys split those up?
I already have my own pair of night vision goggles, but
Well, we also got a first aid kits and shit.
yeah.
You also find a suit of tactical light armor
Oof.
and a brawler heavy armor.
Ooh.
That's everything you guys find.
Wow.
It's tactical.
That's a lot of items.
Tactical light.
That's
and
a lot of
heavy.
Yeah. Both of the armor suits bear like insignias and colors of the league.
Ah, you guys can be like me.
Ooh, I'm gonna grab the
Right.
tactical light armor.
Yeah, go for it.
That's really good.
Is the brawler armor already what I have? I don't remember. I guess I can't find where I wrote down what armor Aisha gave me.
I think you have brawler. What's your KC and EAC?
See, that's the thing. Right now it's 12. That's what I'm saying. I forgot to write it down somewhere.
I think she gave you brawler armor,
Brawler's the second best one.
which is 15 and 14. Well, it's
Okay.
that brawler and guardian just are better at different things.
Yeah.
Though I would argue that having a higher EAC is better, especially as you get to high levels. So your KC
15,
should be
15, 14.
Yeah, and your EAC
Okay.
should be 14.
And that's just flat, right?
Yeah.
No modifier. Okay,
Yeah. You also have a -2 to stealth while you're wearing it.
that's fine.
Okay.
Should we divide up those deployable shields by maybe like one of the frontline people has one, and then like Zed and Flare, because you guys have ranged attacks?
There's
Did
just
it
one
say one?
deployable shield.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why I thought there was three. of those.
There's 3 potions of healing, 6 med kits, and
Right,
1
yeah.
deployable shield. Oh, and 2 night vision goggles.
I don't use spell slots, but I don't have night vision or dark vision, and I don't know how many kits I have. I have one.
I'd imagine probably Flares, Sanguison, and maybe me would take the ones that get spell slots back.
I'm pretty sure you're the only ones who
Yeah.
cast spells, yeah?
Regularly, yeah. So
We
one
can
I don't
each.
know how
put the-
Ian's abilities work though.
Neither do I. I don't think those counts as spells, though. I don't
What
think
abilities?
so.
Spiritual.
Isel's
the-
spiritual
No,
stuff.
no, he doesn't cast spells.
Yeah, so
No, I do not.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
You're a
But I
split
wouldn't
party.
mind a med kit. I don't have any.
I will take the other night vision goggles if no one else needs them.
yeah, good.
Yeah, I have dark vision, so.
Does anybody want my scout light armor?
No.
I have tactical.
No.
I bought it from our.
Yeah, I think Zed and
I have
Izel
jump
would be-
boots.
who would want it the most.
I have tactical, which I think is better. Remember, we bought it from the
It
canyon.
is. Well, it's like reversed, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I have
yes.
jump boots.
Give the
So
armor to
it-
Sal.
Is this
Clearly,
tactical
people-
basic
Sal's
light
not-
or tactical complex light?
Right. Maybe.
Oh, you know what? We did put tactical twice. It's basic.
Okay.
So it's just better at EAC, whereas Scout is KAC. It just depends on what super tactical. Oh god.
Gotcha.
There you go. I fixed it.
Thank you for that. Do I want good KAC or EAC? I think I'm gonna go for the EAC.
I mean, you go in there, which
It's
means
true.
AAC.
As you guys are gathering on the ship, have you guys decided how you're splitting up the med kits? Because
I'm gonna take
there's
one.
6 med kits. So.
I mean, I'll take one. Put my.
I'll also take one because I have pocket healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could divvy the 6 med kits amongst all of us, and then the 3
Yeah,
get the potion
Yeah.
of healing, maybe.
that
That's
makes
fair.
sense to me.
I'll take a pair of night vision.
Okay. As all of you are like packing up your new things and stuff, Ronan comes back out of her den, climbing up the ladder, and you guys see she's now wearing league gear.
Explorer? Sorry. Ronan the Explorer.
You already look the part. You're halfway there.
Don't make me strangle you.
Oh, you
I
can throw
really
one of my
wish I was
jackets
playing a
over it.
character that would poke fun of you right now.
What?
I really wish
Yeah.
I was playing a character that
Oh.
like reasonably would poke fun at you right now. But
Yeah, you can put one of my jackets on. If you're embarrassed.
I'll be alright.
All right.
Flair will go over to Ronan and like put her arm around her and put her other hand like up in the air, kind of like going across, and she'll say, "Flair and Ronan, explorers of Io Stellaris." I like the sound of that. She's kind of just like looking up into the air at nothing.
This must be a nightmare.
No, Ronan, it's destiny.
Right. Are we ready to go?
Let's go
I'm
check
ready.
in on Arax. See what he got up to while we were gone.
Right. Let's do that.
All right. So you guys come back around to the ship, and you guys have that conversation. And Rax comes in shortly after, and he well, I didn't find anything. It wasn't as thorough a check as I could do if I had a couple days, but seems clean to me.
Rax, you're quite a guy. Thank you.
Sure thing, first mate.
He'll just wink at you.
Flair giggles and she says, "See, I told you I could hook you up." To Zed.
Yeah. You gonna pay the man captain?
She say, "Oh, I usually let the first mate handle those affairs."
It says right here, without his data pad. It says
Oh my
right here
God.
that the captain pays for all expenses.
Well, that's the last time I let the first mate mess with my data pad.
Oh, this is hers. Here, go ahead and put the password in.
So to clarify, just for future reference, the captain pays for all expenses.
The captain pays for all expenses whenever the first mate says to. He'll like question himself as he says that.
I will note that.
Are you the first mate? He'll say with a smile.
Not today, I'm not.
If you play your cards right, you might take that title, though.
Go ahead, Captain.
I'll look at Rex and I'll say how much will it take?
He'll smile and he'll say, "It was only a few hours' work. 125 creds will be fine."
I'll give him 150.
He smiles, and a classy captain at that. And then as he starts to walk away, he'll turn and look at you, Zed, and he'll say, "You could learn a thing or two from watching her."
How much should I pay you for my gauntlet?
We'll say that it was covered with the other expenses.
My thanks.
Sure thing.
Thank you, Rax.
You fly safe now.
She'll salute him as well.
He'll wave you off. You guys want to head out?
Flair,
What's the
you
ship
are.
look like?
I'm gonna look to Flair. Flair, you are the captain. When I say you're the captain, yeah?
She's gonna kind of like look at you for a few moments. She's gonna say, "Only in front of Rax," and then she'll like tap you on the shoulder as she walks in. Let's go, Captain.
No. That's right. And he'll walk in.
All right. You guys head out. The station is actually orbiting fairly close to Avara, and you guys are able to attach your ship to one of the ring platforms and use your new landing craft, which is actually a pretty fancy one, because the Loreseekers League is pretty affluent, to make your way through the atmosphere.
As we're leaving the station, I would cast Identify on the ring,
Oh, sure.
just in case.
Sure.
No doubt.
She
Cool.
knows you well.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy. I will never stop running now.
No, you won't.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus Christ.
I feel like this was like a subtle, like, bit of advice to just like bail on us if you have to.
Oh.
Don't be
like,
tied down, Flair.
Yeah, like if we get wrecked, just really start running.
Yeah,
It was
just bail.
it was actually foreshadowing because you guys are in a movie.
Baby, you were born to run.
True.
It's true.
Demonetized.
Demonetized. All right.
Your singing was so impeccable that we got copyright claimed.
Mm-hmm.
As all of you watch from the viewports of your shuttle, your party comes to understand the hype of this world. As time has stretched on, the majority of planets in the galaxy have lost much of their natural states. Avara is a planet unlike any other. Ronan, as you level off the ship after entering the atmosphere, you sweep over a dense jungle canopy, watching as green and gold vistas and rocky shelves level dramatically across the uneven landscape. Jungle vines hanging off of their edges while waterfalls dump off into calderas and basins across the landscape. Smoothly steering the shuttle across these shelves, following your nav computer, you turn a corner and follow a river in the jungle below as all of your eyes fall upon the green biodome.
Dope.
You witness as briefly the hexagonal pieces of the biodome shift in the sky before clearing to appear as if the dome is not there at all. You're able to steer the ship through the dome and into a small port where you find ample shuttle parking. The majority of the landing pads appear entirely empty.
That's strange.
This isn't one of
The planet is just called Avara, right?
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought. While we're like
So are the
flying
people.
in, they're Avarin, right?
Yes,
Avarin.
Avarin or Avarin?
Avarin.
Avarin.
Okay.
I mean, people probably pronounce it both ways.
Isel's gonna say, I did not wish to impose when we were deciding where to go next, as I am open to whatever the galaxy has in store. But I must admit, I have wanted to go to Avara more than anywhere else. I'm very excited to be here.
Isel, you're a surprising little guy.
Voss is probably staring at the colors and the landscape just in total awe, because this is completely different from what he's ever seen.
I'm like, eyes like glued to the windows.
Yeah, you and me probably are like right next to each other, like nose pressed up against the window.
I'm right there as well, even though Flair has seen all this stuff before in pictures.
So have I, but I don't think the pictures do it justice.
Yeah, I know.
As you guys leave your ship, two male Avarins step forward. They're wearing dirty jumpers. Clearly, they like work the landing pads. One of them's tails reaches around and grabs a tablet off of a crate, swinging it back around in front of him and into his hands. And he kind of flicks through, tapping at the screen rapidly before looking up at your party. And he smiles. And then he says what appears to be 3 to 4 sentences in Aberrant.
What does he say?
Isel, he smiles and he looks at the party and he says, "Welcome to the Green Lord Biodome. If you'd please, I would need all ship data so you could stay here." And he's kind of like offering his tablet out for a data pad to connect to.
I will relay that to Zed.
So
Yeah,
basically,
I'll-
they're asking for like your driver's license and your proof of
Registration?
ownership.
Yeah.
Yes.
For the shuttle?
For the ship that the shuttle came from.
All right.
But the owners of said ship have a pretty extensive background. I would imagine that you guys have fake documentation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
It does mean that I get to make a check.
Yeah,
but
I was just saying.
Usually the fake documentation you guys have is pretty good fake documentation.
Yeah, I'll take it gleefully, so I can use my what I think is my best info.
I'm not worried about it.
He takes it in and he runs through it, and then he looks up and he smiles and he says, "Are you here for an extensive stay? What is your reason for visiting the biodome?" And he's looking directly at you now, Isel, because he can tell you're the only person that speaks Aberrant.
I won't like bother relaying it for now. I'll just say in Aberrant. We have been sent by the Loreseekers to assess some of the circumstances of a colleague's disappearance. I believe a more experienced team will be sent once we have obtained the facts to hopefully retrieve or at least determine the whereabouts of the missing party. Perhaps you know of them.
He nods his head and thinks for a moment, and then he says, "I am not sure of anyone you speak, but there were strangers 2-3 weeks back, wore similar garb to this one and this one." He points to Flair and Ronan. They were only here for a few hours before they journeyed out of the biodome and into the jungle. Not a journey I recommend. You should seek a ranger. They would know more of this.
I appreciate your advice. That would be a good place to start, as it seems we have been tasked with following them into the jungle. Sorry, what was the name of the village again?
Chaldra.
Chaldra. I would say, I believe our destination for now is the village of Chaldra.
His partner will kind of look at him confused, and then he'll look back to you and he'll say, "There is a village beyond the biodome called Chaldra. It is a few days into the jungle. Can be a perilous journey. I would definitely seek a ranger before you went out. Only they know those lands."
You have been very helpful. My thanks.
He nods his head, smiles.
And then I will turn to the rest of them and relay everything.
The partner will kind of this whole time he's been watching you two, Sanguisan and Voss, and as the rest of the conversation dies down, he'll peek his head up and he will say, "Tell these two this. The people of Avar worship her. It is not wise to preach other things."
Wait, what?
Basically, he's saying that like
They worship a god.
the people
shut up.
here worship the planet, not celestials, and
Oh,
they would
right,
be
yeah.
bothered by apostles of Aisha trying to like preach to people and stuff.
Okay,
Be
yeah.
considered offensive.
I would respond. He said that in Aberrin, right?
Yeah, he told you to translate to them that.
Gotcha. I would say to him first, I appreciate the warning. Our intent is not to disturb anyone. And then I would relay the warning to Sanguisan. And Voss, but mostly Sanguisan, I guess. I'll say, I have been informed that that the people of this planet do not appreciate proselytizing of celestials here. It would be unwise to be too vocal about your patronage.
Bowser kind of look up at Sanguisan and say, "I don't. Something tells me that neither one of us are the
I don't think that would be an
evangelical."
issue.
Exactly.
I did not think so either.
It's not a leap for them to assume that, though. So
Yeah.
It's
No,
like
it's
reasonable.
definitely.
that's generally what clerics are sent out to do.
Like that fuckwad that got killed by people on the island.
The indigenous. Yeah.
We're more Thoros of Mir than.
So you guys want to
That's
head
right.
down into the city?
That's right.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, let's. Did he? Oh, yeah, never mind. I guess before we leave, I would ask them if they know where we can find a ranger or where we could head to inquire about one.
He'll smirk and he'll say he'll say, "There's a place that some choose to go for a drink near the edge of the biodome where it meets the Green Lord's face. It's called the Treehouse. Rangers usually go there to blow off steam, cause problems. That's where you'll find anyone who knows anything about those you follow."
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Don't cause any trouble here.
We will certainly do our best.
This guy.
They finish signing off your guys' shuttle and marking it into the system, and you see the heads-up display for the landing pad flip up and project with your shuttles in like public information, and then they move on to the next landing ship that they see. as you guys head down into Green Lord Biodome. As you begin to traverse the biodome for the first time, you're all immediately struck by not only the natural aspects of the city, but many of the buildings, as well as vehicles and other technological devices, involve natural resources, especially like woods and what appear to be like biotic implements. Civilians of this place seem to still travel often on the backs of domesticated animals, while others ride on cycle speeders that seem to be powered more by magic and less by technology than you would expect. Ahead, your party sees a large open market space where it appears Avarin locals trade to travelers and as well as others. And farther ahead still, as you kind of reach the middle of this city, you see in the distance the other edge of the biodome, and you see a large interconnected set of buildings carved into massive trees that are kind of like appear to be like tree houses.
So where exactly are you taking us, little one?
Do you know anything about these people?
I am told they go to a place called the Treehouse to blow off steam and cause trouble.
That's not what I asked.
That seems very generic.
That sounds exactly like what you want, though, Zed.
Yes. However, if this little guy, as much as I love him, is our only communication, you know what? No, I'm gonna look to run. I'm gonna trust him.
How could you not trust him? And I'll like pat
That's
on
a
his forehead.
first.
Have I given you any reason not to?
I'm just.
That is true. He is the most.
He'll
He's
like
the most
silently.
blunt of us all, I think.
Voss, how does being blunt get you what you want usually?
May not get me what I want, but it tells me more about the situation than you might think.
I get that. I do. But we're not here to do that. We're here to get what we want. He'll like laugh as he says it.
I think what we are going to this bar for, if I am not mistaken, is to gather information on where we're going and our objective.
That's not what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about our only communication being this little guy.
Well, I think you set us on the right track.
I'm not saying he didn't.
Perhaps if we do go to this place, we might find somebody who does speak our language. Then we would at least.
Basil, you're the robot. He'll just like wink at you.
You'd robot.
I just kind of like cock my head.
Lead the way, buddy.
So what was? How did you describe the treehouse, or the like physical landmark near it?
Well, I just said that like past
Like right on the edge of the dome.
Yeah, on the other side of
Okay.
the dome,
Gotcha.
you do see a collection of buildings that are like higher level that appear kind of like tree houses.
Okay.
They're much better sculpted and constructed. They don't actually look like a tree house, but
Yeah.
they have like bridges extending between these massive trees and stuff in this section of the city.
Given what I have been told, it seems that is a good place to start. And I'll point towards it.
Alrighty.
All right. So you guys just want to head straight to the tree houses?
I suppose so.
Yeah.
I don't really know like who I would.
I can't.
Just, like,
Yeah, none of us can
stop and
talk to
ask.
anyone. So,
I mean, you don't know that. You could try.
but a bar seems like, or whatever this is described as, seems like a pretty decent place to meet people that might speak our language.
As we're walking, I'm just gonna be looking around. I'm already kind of in awe of this place, but I'm looking around for anybody that seems to be like watching us intently. I know that we're getting like the weirdo strangers in a strange language type of thing, but is there anything else? And I got a 15 from my perception check.
Alright,
Anything else I notice?
1 second. 15. Alright, so you guys are walking down the street having this conversation. And
Do we see any non-Aberrin, like, at all?
in the market area, you do see some non-Averin.
Okay.
You see some Gaians. You see some. You see Dekelm. You see a few Nemetics. So there's definitely there are actively outsiders around too, but it's a much less of a mixed ratio than American was.
And we stick out like a sore thumb for sure.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, 2 of you for sure do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flair probably also.
It's 3 of you.
Probably not
Yeah.
as much. Well, yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on if the light's on me or not.
I mean, Flair, Isel, and Zed, Isel, and Ronan are the described. Oh no, Voss are the only ones described.
Yeah, but I am in armor, and I kind of think that I use light piercer not as like a cane, but kind of as like a staff in my hand. I kind of just always have it like a walking.
I'm
staff,
sure there's
so.
Dekelm warriors here though, or whatever, like soldiers in full plate, or the equivalent.
I think the fact that they're probably adorned with Aisha's symbol
That
probably
is
what
more,
makes it stand out.
yeah.
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 But
Just cover that.
You-
shit.
I'll
Yeah,
as
tell
we're
me
like going through the marketplace,
Mhm.
I'll just say to the party, if there is anyone you wish to speak to, let me know.
You'll be the first we ask.
Did my 15 glean me anything specific, or just that? What you've said?
I am working on it.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Yeah, sorry, I
My
asked
bad.
a question before he had
you don't have to yell at
gotten to that.
As you guys are walking and you kind of cut through the market, Voss, you notice that a fairly older model Nemetic does actually appear to be watching your party. And as you move through the market, he occasionally progresses in such a fashion to follow you guys.
Does he look closer to Isel or Ronan?
How are you guys walking? Are you walking in a cluster?
I would assume
I
so.
mean, yeah,
Mm,
probably, yeah.
Probably somewhat, yeah.
Probably as
Yeah.
a small group.
He's
I imagine Isel's the
he's
tip of the spear.
He's
but-
staying 40 or 50 feet back, just kind of following the party.
Okay. I'll cover my mouth, but I'll say loud enough for anybody right around me. Probably Sanguison, maybe Ronan. I don't know, and say, it seems we have a robot's follower, a follower that is keeping tabs on us. Maybe it doesn't seem to be outright aggressive, but something we should note.
I'll shoot
40 or
eyes.
50 feet behind us.
Shoot eyes or Ronan.
Mm,
You want to turn the corner?
might be for the best.
Yeah. Is there
Good-
any
I-
immediate alley?
There aren't any immediate alleys, but if you walk through and out of the market, there's definitely building alleys, like groves of bushes and stuff that you can walk down that are more private.
I should
I'll,
note that we were asked not to start trouble.
I'm not.
This is not us
Start
starting trouble. This could be trouble seeking us out. That's why I pointed it out.
Just do as Ronan is. Yeah. Look to saying.
Did you say something, GM, about whether he was closer to an alpha or closer to an avatar, or was he?
Oh, that's
No, he
Neither.
told you how far away he was.
He's,
Oh yeah, I meant was he closer to?
he's like middle. He's like middle of. He's
I
like
understand
when
why that was confusing. I was kind
I
of like,
just
why
got,
didn't,
yeah,
why
I
didn't you
just
answer
got
my
why
question?
Matt said that. Yeah.
It's cool. It's
he,
cool.
he looks like one of like the more advanced, but still like, God. He's like a fairly early attempt to make nemetics look like humans, like before they had synthetic
Okay.
skin and stuff. But he has humanoid qualities.
A mark.
So I would add addendum to what I said. I would kind of catch Ronan's eye, and I would say a very early form of your model of nemetic, I believe.
Avatar.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe he's just
Okay.
curious.
Ronan
We are
is
weird
the
after
last airbender.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna look to Ronan and just say.
All right,
you
guys,
wanna,
new campaign.
You want to turn the corner?
All right. What I meant was that he is probably a little bit more, a little bit younger and not. I don't know how to say this. He does not look as
Voss,
much
you've been
like
great help. bud.
Isol. He does not look as much like Isol as he does as Ronan. That is what I meant.
He's gonna
So you're
scratch his
saying
forehead.
he's a hero?
That's gonna scratch that.
Could
It
be.
doesn't. It's
Heroes
fine.
don't look anything like people, though.
No,
Flair's
is that
gonna-
just gonna?
Vaguely
Flair's gonna-
humanoid.
Flair's gonna turn around and look for this guy.
Christ.
Yeah, that makes
That
sense.
is just gonna scratch his forehead and say,
Faceless
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I would
Just
say
do.
I was informing you of what
You
I
pick
saw.
him
What
up,
do you mean
Claire.
it does not matter?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he
It-
is following us. Maybe he's just curious. We are weird after all.
Do what Ronan and I do. Yeah. I'm gonna Ronan and I. I'm gonna cock my head for Ronan and I to take the charge, and then turn right into the first immediate alley.
Flair's
Right.
gonna do her best to mimic Ronan exactly.
I was gonna say, yeah, like, I'll try and mimic Zed.
I feel like Zed would try and be a lot stinkier
Your
than
party
Ronan. Ronan's
cuts
just like
down the alley.
walking.
As Voss, as you're watching out for him, you see him step up to the edge of the alley and kind of peer down it.
Oh, I was gonna have a stop at the very front of it. Like as soon as
Okay.
we turn it, just stop.
And like throw yourself up against the wall.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna like grab him as soon as I saw him.
Okay, sure. All right. Yeah. He
Do you want to
walks
grab him, or do you
past
want
the
me to
edge.
try and grab him?
Oh, I was gonna have you grab him, but
Yeah, I figured.
You
you're
walk
first, I'm second. I'll
He
have my
walks
gun
past
ready.
the edge. Let's make contested checks here.
I'm
Athletics.
going to
for it,
use
girl.
inspiration.
I mean, I'll have my gun ready.
All right. Ronan, you launch out with both of your arms and grab at the figure. He slides to the side, your arms just catching air, drops his hand to the hand cannon at his side, and looks up at your party.
Oh, shit.
His face levels with you, Zed, and he smiles and he says, "It's been a long time, Zed."
Why does every mysterious figure that we meet know you?
That's
Why
exactly-
does this still surprise you, Bunch?
Oh, I'm not surprised anymore. I just think it's fascinating.
This is an incredible level of consistency, you have to admit.
What do you want?
Sorry, 1 second.
Mhm.
Weston, I just sent you a message on Discord.
Are you not going to introduce us?
One.
He's gonna smile and he's gonna say, "Oh, you see, I watched Zed take 14." And then he pulls out a marker out of his coat and flips it up, and it says 15, and he says, Looks like you're the marker I need to step up to, Zed. And his hand dances at the hand cannon at his side.
I mean, I feel like Zed would just pull the trigger.
He's gonna shoot first.
Yeah.
Just like Greedo.
Are there rules to
So
this?
controversial.
Yeah, do you want it to be a fair duel or not?
Shane making a spicy
Oh.
He hasn't
rule
he hasn't unhitched.
here.
He's
He'll-
you know that
okay.
he's probably expecting at
Yes.
least like 30 feet of distance.
Yeah, I'll look at him. You found me. Alright. I'll look to everyone and look around. Shake my head. Let's do it.
Flair leans over to Sanguisan. What's going on?
If I'm not mistaken, it looks like they are about to fight.
Oh, that's bad.
It's better than a fight. It's a duel.
Yeah,
He'll start to walk down the alley a little ways with you.
I'll
Have I seen this
laying down
happen
eyes
before?
I fail to see what makes a
No,
duel
you've not.
better.
Okay.
I'll
It's been a while.
yeah, I'll put Better Devils in his holster. But
I will look down at Isol and I'll say, no one seems to listen to what I say. But did you not say that we should not start trouble? Is that what they said when you talked to them at the gate?
Really quick, Ronan, you do know that there's like there is like a gunfighter culture that does get serious enough if you're a quick enough draw to hit a point that you can enter this contest though.
Okay.
Roll a history check, Ronan. You're like really good at those, right?
Super duper good at those. It's not bad.
Hey!
It's not great.
Pretty good.
You know that Caius is number one.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I'll look to everyone.
That's
Don't
why I
interfere.
got Ron Perlman vibes from him.
Yeah, he'll look to everyone. Don't interfere. If I go down, he's better.
Flair will take a step back and she'll say, "Good luck, Zed. Try not to die. We need you."
Run will go up to
Isel
Zed.
will,
and,
Isel will turn to the other four after this, sorry. Or the
Run will
other
go
three.
up to Zed and say, "You better not die, or I'll kill you myself."
Double tap.
Yeah, he'll just look at you and say,
Oh my
I mean-
god.
"You're at the top of the list."
She'll give you a meaningful look, a smile, and then walk away.
Yeah, he'll just nod and stretch it out.
This is taking place in the alley, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Right there in the alley.
Are there other people in the alley, or are we in?
Make a perception check.
Jesus.
No.
There's nobody else in the alley.
Okay.
Except
Yeah.
for us. Not even us. We all just disappeared.
She's fixated on this duel.
Oh, once Zed walks away, Isel's gonna say to the rest of you, if he goes down, I have every intention of bringing him back up immediately. I do not see why he must die for the other fighter to prove he is better.
He won't die. He's too stubborn.
Attack roll.
Let's say
Inspiration.
Sure. They move 30 feet from each other and then both turn and square. Go ahead and roll.
I clicked on it's lagging. 24.
Ooh.
You see both of their hands dance to the holsters, silver flash, and a single shot fire. Duelist stumbles and falls back to the ground, holding his chest.
Flora starts clapping.
I'll start walking, or holster and walk up to him.
Okay. I mean, duelist code. You aim for the heart.
Yeah.
This is a dead nomadic.
Yeah.
You want to search him?
Yeah, I'm gonna take his 15.
Yes.
Make an investigation check.
I'll turn to Sagmathon
7.
and say,
7.
this is
not
the only
20.
7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Keep going. What were you
I
gonna
will. I will say, I've only ever read about something like this in a very old volume, and I was very, very sure that it was fiction. This, I cannot believe that just happened.
It's all the killing I've seen. It's just whoever can get there the quickest. I don't understand why they make a game of it.
That's what I assumed as well. Oh well.
I cannot say I condone it. To each his own.
He won, so there's that.
I imagine this will not be the last time.
He had a number 15 on the card, and he's 14. Means we have to watch 13 more of these go down at some point.
Situational.
Claire's gonna go over and kneel down over the guy as Zed is searching him, and she'll kind of like poke him, like poke his shoulder, and she'll say, "Just dead now?"
That's the game. He'll smile at you as he's like rifling through his stuff.
Game.
You find 20 hand cannon rounds on him, and
Yeah.
you find a couple portable cred chips that, when you add up, are worth 223 credits.
Woo.
Dueling don't pay the bills very well.
How did you find him?
Hey, he didn't have a, you know how much you got on you.
Finding each other
all the way
is
out here?
part of the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, she was just gonna say, how did he find you all the way out here?
You want to rise to the ranks, you gotta hunt down someone better than you.
How did you get
Does that mean
involved
you
with this?
I'm sorry. Yeah, he'll like look back. I didn't hear you. What?
How did you get involved with this?
When you're trying to, he's just gonna shake his head. He's just gonna raise his hands. I was young and dumb, and now I'm old and dumb. I don't know.
So does this mean the other 13 will come after you?
Oh, not all 13 of them. I'll probably have to find them. They're not looking for lower numbers.
Hmm. Well, if I see any, I'll let you know.
However, it's more than just 15.
Oh.
Does this mean that Caius is somehow like? Was he associated with Caius? Were they associated with Caius? Are they tracking you? Did he find you?
Zed'll roll his eyes. This is a different game. However, I will contest, and I'll look to Ronan. Caius is a part of this. However, it doesn't mean he sent him.
But it does raise the question. If he was able to find us, how hard will it be for others?
We need to cover our tracks better. Obviously, we didn't do good enough job.
Well, we should definitely hide this guy. That just makes
Say,
us look
that
really
might
bad.
start with the body.
Well, you send him Duel's code, he's got to be found.
And what is to happen with his marker?
I'll like flip it in my finger and want him to send it to Gaius.
What did he have?
Hey, money and hand cannon rounds,
Hmm.
creds.
It's like two Resident Evil characters talking about their inventory. Six bullets and some dollar bills.
Yeah, no, he's not.
I sure hope there's a typewriter near.
I need a blue plant and a green plant, so I can fuse them together.
From now on, our sessions can't stop until you guys reach the next typewriter.
I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
Yeah, I'll just give the salute to him and we ready to go? And have a
As we're
smile
figuring
on his
out the
face.
body situation, as we're figuring
Yeah,
out the
smile on
body
his
situation, can I peek out the alley in perception again to see how big of a ruckus we've made? That's not as good. That's a 12. So they're like
Are
particularly
people like gathering?
yeah. Are there particular attention paid to us?
You're
Yeah, we
muted.
can't hear you.
Yeah, you're muted.
All right, sorry. You do notice that some of the people that were in the market, most of the people have just continued doing what they were doing, but some do seem to be like actively pointing out to like what appear to be like guards, because they don't really like dress like cops here, but they appear to be some kind of law enforcement. But they haven't started over yet. They're like just being told what's happened.
Right. Well,
I think we should put this guy in the alley and keep moving.
so to the treehouse then.
Yeah, it's a good plan. And I'll just start off.
This does not seem to be going well.
I'll like drag the guy up into the alley a little bit.
I mean, they were in the alley.
I'll
Yeah.
prop him up against like a wall or something.
Yeah, sure.
He
You
just
find
dropped,
like
it's fine.
you find like an inlet, and you kind of like push his body into it, and you hope
Yeah.
that the guards are just like the guards from a Hitman game, and they just like walk by things that are directly behind something else.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like to imagine I've already made a couple of like 20 feet already on my own.
Yeah. He's off. All right. So you guys head to the tree house, and as you reach the section where you guys saw these larger, like interconnected tree houses, you see a large wooden archway, and across the top of it, there's a banner that actually says the tree house in what appears to be like some kind of like bioluminescent light. But then you guys realize that all of the words are slightly shifting, and they appear to actually be like bioluminescent, like snake-like creatures that are forming these words.
Ooh. That's neat.
That's crazy.
Impressive, if unsettling.
Yeah, I need
Why
to
do they stay there? Why do they just stay there? Why don't they leave?
Maybe they get paid.
Would you like me to ask someone?
Isel, first things
No.
first. First things first, Isel. Strongest drink. And I'll just like smile at you.
Oh, ask them if they
Very
have
well.
If they
And
have what?
I'll
sandwiches.
head in.
So Isel's going in, and nobody else.
No, I'm going.
I'm going in.
So you guys,
Yeah, I'll go
the space you guys enter is like a large open eating area, and there's like the rope bridges like lead to the upper areas at the top, that appear like they might be slightly more private. In this open area, you see long tables with like groups and clusters, mostly Avarin, but you do see a few like what appear to be off-worlders as well. You notice that past the tables to the left, there appears to be a large kennel area where many of these like forest ranger Averin seem to keep like pet companions and stuff while they stay there to drink and like tell stories or whatever. And then you guys also do see a path leading off to the right where you see a large structure, which appears to be like made of like a massive round, mostly wooden wall, with a wide pathway leading up to a double gate, and you do hear like cheering and stuff behind it.
I'm gonna see what that is.
Zed,
So Ronan's like breaking off.
no, Zed will go.
Okay.
Ronan
The
and
two
Zed
of you.
are
My
breaking up.
my headset is cutting out. Yeah, I'm
I'll
going.
go. I'll go with them too. Actually,
Immediately piqued my interest.
Anybody else? Just staying in the main area.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Is it just like tables and stuff? There's not like a bar or something like that?
No, there's like multiple like bars and stuff. You see,
Okay.
you see a food area where an Averin is actually actively turning what appears to be like a very large slug-like creature, and then squeezing it as kind of like this blue material comes out the back of it and spills into a bowl that one of the Averin customers walks up and shoves a spoon in and walks away and starts eating. And then you see them like serving like these drinks that are like glowing, and actually they're like reaching up to these large petaled plants and actually like turning the petals down and then putting pressure on the bottom and the top to like squeeze out what appear to be like these alcoholic beverages and stuff. Like they're very strange.
delicious.
Yeah.
Make history checks.
Sure.
You
Hey.
got it.
13.
You got it, dude.
Really?
Everybody who got a 10 or above, everybody who got a 10 or above knows that a pangalactic gargle blaster comes from Gaia.
Okay. I was
That
like,
makes
no way! Got it.
The planetary locals like to call it engine fuel.
Yeah,
So,
Highly rated.
that's what that is.
I will head to the bar that looks least crowded.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll go with Isol.
alright. And Sanguisan?
I was following them to the cheering.
Okay. So 2 to the bar and 4 to the whatever the cheering was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I did tell Isol whatever's strongest.
Yeah, that is what I'm
I told
heading there
I
to
told
do.
him.
You said first things first, strongest drink.
Mm-hmm.
Get a little bit of plant juice and some slug goo. You're all set.
Yes.
As we walk out, say, maybe the bartender can point us in the right direction. To either one of these rangers or to someone who speaks the common tongue.
Yes, I intend to ask them where we can find a ranger once I have procured the strongest drink for Zed.
Sounds good.
Can't wait. Alright. We're gonna start with you two.
Alrighty.
So the 2 of you walk up to the bar. You actually walk up as it's kind of clearing out, and you see a single female African behind the bar. She serves up another bowl of that like bar food to the
Slug poo.
to the Averin, who immediately starts
Slugoo.
munching on it. And then the 2 of you walk up, and she turns and she smiles at the 2 of you, and she actually says in pretty good Galactic, she says, "And what can I get you?"
One of whatever your strongest drink is.
She chuckles. Absolutely.
Isel ordered that. Oh man.
I'm gonna
And then
take a look
I
at what it
suppose-
is. But
5 of whatever
Before I-
you would recommend.
Sure. Something light. I can do that.
Our translator's gonna be blasted.
She starts. She starts mixing through her drinks. Is there anything else you guys want to talk to him about?
And then while she's making them, if she's not like running around or anything and like leaving proximity, I would say once we are settled with our drinks, could you point us in the direction of a ranger?
Are you looking for any ranger in particular? There's quite a few around you. The Avarenin, actually.
That is what we were
Someone.
told. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Oh, shit, I forgot. No, someone who would be willing to take a group of explorers to the village of Chaldra.
I believe Leaf Collector already did that. I take it you're going out to look for that first party.
I would say
We do not expect to
individual-
find the party on this particular voyage, but we have been sent to gather information.
Well, I saw a Leaf Collector around here earlier. I don't know if she still... Usually she attends the beast fights.
I imagine that's where all the cheering is coming from.
Yes.
Say, if she took the original party out there, that may be exactly who we were looking for.
Is there any way we might recognize her?
She bears distinctive white skin paints almost all the time across her face and her tail and her legs. She sticks out in a crowd.
Not unlike ourselves.
Definitely not unlike you, Aishan. She
Wait, what did
finishes
she
her
say
matrix.
exactly?
She said, definitely not unlike you, Aisha.
I'd say, Aishan. I hadn't thought to call myself that. Believe me, I'm not the. I am not the most prominent Aishan here today. But
Sure.
duly noted.
She'll nod her head. And she has fixed all the drinks for you guys. She points to the one that is is glowing brightest, and she says, "That's the strong one."
Chloe.
Thank you very much for all your help. How much do I owe you?
All in all, 32 credits.
I'll
I
push
will-
my credit. I'll push my credit shit forward first. 32, you said?
Yeah. She'll
Okay.
take the payment. She'll take the payment.
Sounds
Yeah,
Are
what
you
do you guys wanna
tipping?
Yeah, let's round it up to 40.
How are you gonna not tip? Yeah, when she like was specifically very helpful.
Wow.
We'll round it up to we'll round it up to 50.
With James, I make all my money off tips. Okay.
Change the naming convention of all the episodes to the Friends episode naming convention.
Please don't.
I'm not going to.
Okay.
Now, if you want to change the Seinfeld, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That'd be okay.
James has a drum. Alright,
bum,
so-
bum, bum.
So what do you guys want to do after you get the drinks and you pay?
Band kid came out a little bit in me.
Head towards the beast fights, or at least the other 4.
Kills a duelist. Yeah. Always Sunny reference way better.
Oh.
Yes, we grab all the drinks between us and
Alright, you guys head towards the show.
The gang watches Dennis kill the duelist.
Alright, the 4 of you head down the path to where you find an entryway. You see ahead of you several open tables that have what appear to be employees at them who are like actively like taking payment for tickets inside.
Can we see, like, I mean, meta-wise, can we see the actual like pit where they're fighting? Like, area where they're fighting?
You can't see it from here.
Okay.
You would pay here and then you would go around to go into the seats, or you would notice that there's passageways on the sides leading down that like competitors appear to be going down.
How much for entry?
The Averin running the table, he kind of like shuffles through his data pad and then looks up at you and says, "Viewing or competing?"
Competing in what?
He'll cock his head and say, "I usually recommend viewing the first time, but you must know there are fearsome creatures in the wilds. They are brought here at times for the purposes of entertainment."
Like doing tricks and stuff?
Usually they are beasts who have been preying on rangers. They're brought here for the sport of competition. For the kill.
Oh.
What do you say, Ronan? I had my duel. You have your duel.
I'll enter.
Oh! I'll like look to Flair. Surprised.
Flair will look at Ronan and clap and say, oh, maybe you can get a higher number.
Yeah, maybe you can
Just-
get a higher number. He'll like look at you.
Just
There
like
is-
slowly glances at or glares at Flair.
There are many different contests. There are tests of single people's willpower. There are greater tests that yield greater prize rewards that require teams. It depends on how you would like to compete.
I'm gonna need a drink.
What do you say, Flair? You want to join me in combat?
How big are these teams?
It depends on the size of the challenge.
And what's the size of the challenge? They'll say very.
What did you say at the end of that?
What's the size of the challenge? But he says it like he's bored with the conversation.
Well, how many would you like to have enter?
I'll look at everybody.
Well, if you're doing this, there are 6 of us.
6 would be a large challenge, but it would yield a large reward. And on top of that, you would actually be taking care of quite a huge problem we've been having recently on the border of the biodome.
Large reward, did you say? We're in.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Fair enough. All 6 of you?
We'll fetch the other members of our party.
So I was right in assuming you have not viewed this contest before, because there are certain rules.
Lay 'em on me.
Well, it is a contest of honor, and the rewards that can be yielded are great, and it does require respecting ranger traditions. There is
Let's say we don't know what those traditions are.
well, in the case of the contest, obviously you would be equipped in a more ancient fashion.
No guns, Zed.
What are the rules about magic?
Magic existed before, and it exists now. It is fair. There are many rangers who practice at least light forms of magic.
You guys,
She'll like crack
Yes.
her knuckles and start like stretching, and she'll say, "I'm in."
Obviously,
still
no
in.
technomancy.
Oh no.
you guys can do this with 5, yeah?
Oh come on, Zed. You know you want to.
Zed, where would we be without our captain?
The Averin smiles and looks at you, Flair, and says, "Oh, you shouldn't expect too much from a Gaian."
Oh, this guy
I
in
love this
though.
place.
This guy, he's been around the block more than a few times. He's number, what was it, 14?
He's-
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Alright, what do you got for
Yikes.
weapons?
All of the traditional Averin hunting implements are involved, whether they be spears or bows or weapons that require true talent. Contest.
I mean, I'll like take my dagger from its sheath and like flip it and like, is this okay?
You could use that dagger if you wished.
Okay.
Would this suit the rules of combat? Rob my katana.
She'll look it over and say, "That is fine. The worry is more with guns and yahoos with the rocket launchers." He rolls his eyes.
Extreme.
I don't need a gun to kill my competition.
Yeah, it's easier though.
But I
My
would like a
Discord keeps
bow.
booting me. My Discord keeps booting me. Do we? Are we there? We got there by now.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are. Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys.
who's
You guys
right
walk
below
up.
us?
You guys, the two of you walk up at this point.
Okay.
And you're catching like the end of this conversation. The rest
Oh.
of you notice them walk up with your drinks. Hopefully,
We're just
they hand
signing
you
up
the
to
right
fight.
ones, Ed.
I will look and see
This
the
one is
glowing
yours.
one and be like, that is mine, yeah?
Correct.
Did they have any sandwiches?
Yeah, I'll just knock it back. Where's the con check?
Where's the con check? Well, the white woman.
Where's?
Matt, you're muted.
Then.
Are you knocking the whole thing back?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
you just said yeah.
All right, roll 3 Constitution
Oh
saving
my
throws.
god.
Oh,
Oh man,
First two
you
were
started
great.
so strong.
You're
Dude, you
feeling,
could luck that last one.
You could.
Nah.
do it.
Alright,
I was like, I feel like he doesn't want to.
it's good.
Come on, guys.
You're feeling good right now.
Alright. Yeah, I'll just knock it back and put the glass back down.
I did
No
not
guns,
get
you
you
said.
another one.
Uh. Yeah, he'll just look back to the guy. No guns? Yeah? Or the girl? I'm sorry.
It's a guy. No guns. Still, actually. 5 minutes from now, it'll be no guns as well.
Alright, can I just promise not to use it?
There are lockers in the competitors area below where you can lock away all of your equipment until you return, if you return.
He'll just sigh. Where's your trust, man? Yeah.
Not in guns, apparently.
Now that Now that Isol realizes what's going on, I'll kind of turn to Voss and say, I suppose this should not have been unexpected.
We went and got drinks and were inserted into a. It sounds about right. I agree.
All right. Do you guys want to go below?
Yeah. I mean, I do.
All right. As you
Sure.
guys go below, and you
Yeah, I'll put Better Devils in a locker.
you guys have to remove anything that's technological, actually,
Oh, damn.
which would include your armors.
Yeah.
Yep,
armor.
My
armors
jump
and
boots.
communications.
After you are done, with that, locking them away and passcoding them, you move into the next area. As you hear one of the contests above, you hear several animal, bestial roars and cheers from the crowds fighting above, but you can't actually see what's happening. And as you guys shift into the next room, you see in front of you a fully stocked armory, and you guys can equip your characters with any of the basic weapon and armor equipments in the 5e handbook.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm gonna
I'm
cast
good.
Magic on myself.
Except crossbows and hand crossbows.
Okay.
What about? Can I use my spear? Can I use it?
Yeah, they said that was fine.
Okay.
It's magical, not really technical.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast magic armor on myself and then just stretch.
I will be right back.
I'm gonna get studded leather.
Wait, are me and Ronan allowed to compete?
Yes, you are.
That is a good question.
I like that the Aberrans consider us people.
Yeah, I grab the studded leather and short sword. Go to work. Keep my dagger on me.
So just
The,
everything off
the-
the armor page in the book.
Yeah. The Averin were probably one of the first species to actively support nemetics being considered people.
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Good
It's
to know.
actually
pretty
Really?
progressive of them.
progressive. Yeah. So were we allowed to?
They
what
grew up
weapons?
they developed on a world where communities had to stay very, very close to survive because like their world was just kind of like this
It's
very
dangerous
natural
as
world
fuck.
that was actively trying to kill them all the time. So like they didn't really
They're,
have a
they're
ton of that.
Zendikari.
Actually, the Voss's people are more like the Zendikari, but even more like the Zendikari. But yeah, they definitely their situation made them develop in a very different way, and the majority of all of their communities look down very much on like slavery. And once nemetics were like functionally their own beings, it was considered slavery to them.
So we're allowed to use any weapons.
Yes. They're
Okay.
like fully stocked.
Yeah, short sword studded armor. Dude, how many daggers can I hold?
I mean, you can hold a lot of daggers. There's 12 daggers there.
Honestly, I'd probably just take 2 extra.
Okay.
Plus my actual dagger.
I'm also gonna take a great sword.
Some of us can't wield those, okay? Or can not.
You can, you just don't have
Just
proficiency.
not effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah, great sword, and then a longbow.
Is everyone equipped?
I'm equipped.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't take anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Flair doesn't either. Now you guys your like jump boots are gone and all that.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
took those off.
I'm
You have
assuming I can
pure
keep
magic items. The ring is fine.
The ring. Okay.
My cloak is
Technology
magic too,
over
right?
secret.
It's not
Coincidentally,
Yes,
technological at all.
it is.
coincidentally, my studded leather armor has higher AC than my.
All right.
In your normal like AC.
Eventually,
Well, yeah,
you guys
studded
hear
leather's 10 points.
several cheers from the crowd, and your party is called up a separate set of stairs, because it is your turn. Fontes.
Ooh-wee.
I imagine I
Feels so
have a
bad for
pretty
James.
pretty bad farmer stand.
You guys kind of adjusting to this armor and stuff, begin to walk up the path, and ahead of you, you hear a chanting crowd again. And eventually, a gateway thick with vines rolls away and reveals to your party the inside of a large gladiatorial pit.
Welcome to the Coliseum, motherfuckers!
The thing that never gets old in D&D.
Hell no.
The crowd,
Anything,
the
dude.
crowd chants and pounds at their seats, hooting and hollering all around you. And then you hear a massive roar. The gateway on the other side begins to slide open as a huge creature comes out.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Its tail
That's dope.
sweeps around the edges of the pit, like these massive interlooping trees that make up the walls, and the gems across its tail cut into it. You actually see the walls repair themselves quickly behind this wounding as it sweeps around and it roars at your party. As all of you stand rigid, planting your feet in place, you see Zed smile. You pull the two daggers dancing in your hand, and then you stop. Everyone hears a gurgle. Zed vomits on the ground. That's where we're gonna end our session.
Oh my god.
I was like genuinely gearing up for another like 2 hours.
Right, yeah.
I can't do that to you guys. But I did want to make sure you guys knew that you were in trouble, and Zed's gonna be totally fucked.
Oh yeah.
Nah, he just threw it all up. He's
Yikes.
good now.
Yeah, we're good.
Better out than in, I always say.
Be good.
Who else could you trust to throw daggers than a man who just drank himself into the end of one drink?
That's right. I mean, you just saw him shoot. How bad could he get this drunk?
Yeah. He's number 14 for a reason, guy.
Yeah, we definitely saw you shoot and not throw a dagger.
Exactly.
No, he's thrown a dagger before.
No, I
have
mean,
thrown a
but just now.
Yeah, just now, yeah.
Oh yeah.